Well, let's start with that new Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Before we get into what you've been.
Okay.
Playing.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
I just kind of steamrolled ahead.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah, I watched that. I've been up to that. I've been doing that. I've been.
What'd you think of it? I know what you thought of it, but
I texted you like pretty much the next morning, and I'm like, yeah, it was okay. It was a little like
You said it was Chadish.
It was Chad.
I was like, what the fuck is Chadish? What does that even mean? I still don't know what that means.
Okay, so
I'd like you to explain. Explain yourself, sir.
I feel like they're building the characters, and the characters are all like, I'm dark and brooding, or military man, and those are the only two things you got. I'm too proud of everything, and then one guy is just like, I'm not proud of anything. And I think there's an interesting dichotomy in the show, but the first episode was very like a lot of action, not a whole lot of exposition, and I don't know, it kind of, they introduced Bucky, and they introduced Falcon, and you get a little bit of a deeper look into Falcon's life. And then Bucky, you don't really know what's going on there quite yet. And
I feel like you do.
But you don't. They don't make it seem like he's.
Obviously, we're talking spoilers here. So if you haven't watched it, it's just spoilers.
Well, it's hardly spoilers. It's the first episode.
Yeah. I don't care. Maybe we start every fucking episode with our little spoilers of the show. Why the fuck not?
Oh sure. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we'll just do that from now on.
So it starts off with them like in a plane, and then he's like, all right, I'll see you guys later. I gotta go take out these terrorists before they cross the border. And he like flies out and kicks a bunch of dudes, which why does he only use his fists? I feel like he has a whole bunch of gadgets on his back. He's got that little thing that flies around. Why doesn't he use that to fight?
What are you talking about?
The Falcon in the opening scene where he's like fighting in that big cargo plane.
Yeah.
Trying to get that VIP out of there. I don't even know who that was or what the purpose of that was. But
what's happening?
Nothing. But yeah, I don't know what the purpose of that was, but it was I just lost my train of thought.
Okay.
So,
well,
what did you think of it?
I disagree. I feel like they opened up what this show is going to be. It's going to be, I feel like you do know what's going on with Bucky. He's having to right his wrongs. He's meeting with this counselor, but he's also like an informant for the government, obviously. Unlike, because he was like, hey, sorry about that, and then there were also like cops there like catching the bad dudes. So like he's an informant for the government. He's trying to right his wrongs. It's sort of like My Name Is Earl. So we're back to sitcoms, because that's what My Name Is Earl is all about.
Is it really?
Yeah, My Name Is Earl. He's a former drug addict and like bad person, and he's like trying to right his wrongs. That's My Name Is Earl.
Oh yeah. But is he doing it for the government though?
I feel like he is, and he's also doing it for himself. Because obviously he was like an informant for them because they caught that one dude. I don't know who the fuck that was, but like they caught him. And then Falcon, like I feel like there's some interesting stuff going on with Falcon and his family. You get to see like more of like who he is. Also liked the little line where they said Uncle Sam. I never really put that together.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Sam. That's Uncle clever. Sam. That's cute.
Yeah. But as soon as they said that, I'm like, oh, come on.
But also, I think they're setting up something that I feel like is a little like cool of Disney to do, where it's like it seems, as far as I can tell, like they might be tackling a topic that Disney might not otherwise tackle, which is like he gave the shield back, right? And then they gave it to a white dude, and it's like,
you think that was what it was?
I feel like that's a big part of it.
Wow, I did not get that whatsoever.
I feel like that's a big part, and I feel like that's going to be like part of the show. Like
they're making it a race thing. I hate that.
I think it's great. I think it's a good statement, and also
I mean, because it is
because it's
a
like
good statement, but
because it's like what it's saying is we're ready for a black Captain America. We're ready to accept that.
Right.
But are the elites ready for that? And like, and that's to me where it seems like it's going. And then like also like, obviously that dude's going to be a bad guy. I mean, it seems pretty obvious.
Right. Yeah. It seems like it, at least. The way they introduced
store brand Chris Evans.
Yeah, generic Chris Evans.
The only real issue I had with the show is like I feel like he shouldn't be struggling for money that hard because regardless of him being like a superhero and knowing Tony Stark, he's still like a high up in the Air Force, and I feel like people in the Air Force probably make okay money. I'm not saying they're like loaded, but like I imagine people at the Air Force of all the branches make probably the most, I'd assume.
Especially if you're flying. I hear you have to pass like crazy amounts of tests in order to fly, which means you're way up there in the like totem pole. I don't know what the hell keeps happening, but people are calling me and people are walking in on me. But yeah, he shouldn't have a problem. And especially since the army didn't have to pay for half of its workers for 5 years.
That's true. Well, I mean, yeah. I do like that. It's like it's kind of hitting on the point of like the blip affected a lot of people. You'd think that the world would look more of like a hellscape than it does.
A hellscape, yeah, absolutely.
Because that would be massive. But also, on top of him like being gone for 5 years, he was also defecting from the government for like years before that. Right. So yeah, he may be struggling a bit, but he's already back in the Air Force. They mentioned that he's in the Air Force.
Right.
And also, like, Tony couldn't just like I know Tony's dead at this point, but like you'd feel like he would have just like given each member like $1 million at the start. Like here,
at least,
like here's just like $1 million. Just don't spend it all in one place.
My severance pay.
Yeah.
But to you guys,
that's my thoughts on the show. I guess
that threw me off. But also at the very beginning, where he hands the shield to the Smithsonian, that I never. Anytime somebody goes like, okay, so Steve Evans, Chris Rogers, Steve Rogers,
yeah.
What Steve Rogers?
Yeah,
is that his name? Okay. He gives the shield to him, and he's like, "Here you go. It's your turn. You do this. I trust you." And then, if I were to give something to somebody that is that important, and they just fucking give it away.
Well, he didn't give it away. Like they put it in like the museum. I don't think he was expecting them to give it to a different guy. That's why I think it's definitely gonna be a bit of a race thing, right? Because like if they were gonna give it to anyone, why not just be like, hey, we want a new Captain America anyway. You should be the guy.
But he didn't want it. So if somebody goes, no, I don't want to be, and you can have it.
He didn't want it because like he thought someone else should have it. He didn't want it because it's Steve's. Like Steve is the guy. But if someone and he probably expressed that to the people, like, this is Steve's, not mine. And they're like, oh, okay, well then we'll give it to this guy. And that's probably not the outcome he was anticipating.
Right, and that's understandable. But also, if I were to give something that important to one of my friends, if I were dying and I'm like, here is...
Well, I'm not under the impression he was even dying. I think he's still alive. But...
He's probably still alive, but in a different timeline.
You think he's actually on the moon?
No.
That'd be fucking hilarious, though. If
that would be hilarious.
Like,
how would he be there? But anyway, like
I mean, the fucking Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know. Like, there's plenty of ways.
He's hanging with them. But yeah, if I were to give you something,
they mentioned the moon thing. That's why.
That was like a symbol of me. I don't have anything like that. I can't be like, oh yeah, Jake, I want you to have this.
My Vita.
Yeah, my PlayStation Vita. And then you go, thanks, dude. I'll treasure it. And then you just give it away for a museum or something. I'd be like, dude, I gave that to you. That's yours. It's not anybody else's. It's your. Why are you giving it away? Like,
I think if you were like fucking Captain America though, and you had a whole exhibit dedicated to you in the Smithsonian, I might be like, I feel like people deserve to see this and to see who you were. I don't know. I get where he's coming from.
but yeah, but do you need the shield for that?
Yeah, that's like
I get that it's a symbol.
That's like his thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like John Lennon's piano. Like if John Lennon gave me his piano, I'd probably be like, this probably belongs in some sort of museum and not in my house, you know?
He had many pianos. You just fucking give him a different one.
You know what I mean, though. Like this is the piano they recorded the White Album with, and it's like, do I really need this? Like this probably belongs in a museum or something, or
right.
I don't know.
But then you'd be the only one with John Lennon's white piano.
I mean, that's true, and that would be cool. But I don't know. Belongs in a museum. I don't know.
Yeah,
I stand by that.
I don't know. We'll see how the show goes because it's intriguing for sure. It's not as intriguing as WandaVision.
No, I don't think so either. This is more just like your standard Marvel fare, which is fine. That's kind of what I kind of want. That.
I kind of want. It seems to be sort of like a Daredevil, like what they're doing. Not Daredevil. They seem to be going down like a Deadpool, Spider-Man sort of.
Like team up.
They're two different.
Well, this
but
is like,
they're also the same.
It's like Lethal Weapon, like, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a better analogy. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I've heard it put like that. Yeah, like this is supposed to be like Lethal Weapon, but they definitely went more serious with it.
Yeah.
And I thought like the scene where he was in the counseling, like the counseling scene, I loved the way they shot that, like the close-ups on the face.
Really awkward close-ups. Yeah,
like close-ups.
I like their noses and stuff like that.
I liked that because it like really focused on like how tight in it like focuses on you in counseling. I thought it really set the tone of like how you feel when you're in that sort of vulnerable state. But
right. Yeah, it was well shot. The whole thing was well shot, really.
Dude, that action scene, like that was straight out of a movie. Like that was, and it's a TV show. Also, the fact that Don Cheadle showed up, it's like, dude, I didn't think about it. Like I didn't even think about it. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then I'm like, but like this is a TV show, and they paid for Don Cheadle to be in it. Like that's insane, you know. But
who was Don Cheadle though?
He's War Machine.
He's War Machine. That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
it's not the original War Machine though.
No, he was only in one movie forever ago. That guy,
right? The Iron Man 1. Yeah, right.
We've seen War Machine in like fucking 6 movies at this point. So,
wait, Don Cheadle was standing though.
Yeah,
didn't he get paralyzed?
Well, Tony developed the legs for
the legs for him. Okay,
yeah.
I don't know.
Remember because the fucking Stan Lee shows up with a package and he's like, hey, I got you these legs, and then Stan Lee walks in and he's like, Tony stank. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good times.
I do remember.
I can't remember which movie that was. I think it was Civil War. It doesn't matter.
No, it was probably Infinity War.
It's probably Civil War because that's where he got paralyzed. So
probably the end of it. Anyway, we've been rambling way too much about.
Yeah, dude, I think we may just like edit this part out and make it its own video. I feel like that might be the move. Yeah.
That might be the move.
That might be the move because that was like 16 minutes on just.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be the move. It. Every week, let's do it. I'm down. Let's do it. Why not?
I'm down. Yeah. I'm down. We'll just do a tangent into whatever Disney Plus has on. You know?
Yeah, whatever
the show is. The low-key show, I think, is next. We'll do that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Hit record here. Okay, I'm recording. Yeah, we can.
He's recording. We don't even have shit for this. This is
all off the cuff.
This is all off the cuff. So I watched the second episode of Winter Soldier and Falcon, or vice versa.
Falcon
either
and the
way.
Winter Soldier. Yeah.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I liked it. I liked it a lot more than the second episode.
Than the first one, you mean?
Yeah, I like the second one a lot more than the first episode is what I was going to say.
Yeah. I do feel like the first one was kind of like building the characters. They weren't even together. It's just sort of like, hey, this is this character, this is this character. Get to know them, and then they kind of show off, John Walker at the end, and they're like, this is the drama of the show.
I don't even think that's. I think that's just going to be a second of drama. Like it's going to cause a little bit of drama, but in the end, it's not going to matter because it doesn't fucking matter.
Well, let's talk about that. I mean,
yeah.
It's sort of interesting. Like, how do you feel about John Walker?
The new
fucking
Cap. I fucking love him, right? So
Okay.
the way I think about it, the way I see Cap is probably how like the people in this universe see Cap. He's like Uncle Sam. He's like Uncle Sam, right? And if Uncle Sam died and people are like, oh man, I'm really bummed and America sucks because there's no captain anymore, fucking replaced him. And like he's just trying to help, this John Walker guy, is that his name or Joe? John.
I think
it's
John Walker. Yeah.
He's like they had to show a little bit of backstory. He's in a locker room. He was like a football person. He was just a jock, and then he like saved a whole bunch of people. Like he has the fucking credentials that Captain America would have. He has the best friend who's always got his back. He's got
he's got his own Bucky. Yeah,
he's got his and it's just like dude, okay, cool. I really enjoy this. And then they gave him the shield, and I'm like, that guy deserves the fucking shield because he's has the credentials. Like and then you see him use it in the episode, and he's throwing it around and catching it and shit. And like, what is that? I didn't realize that was possible. And it's just kind of crazy to me that
I
how they introduced somebody new, and they're like, this is Captain America, and it's like, wow, they're doing it. They're remaking what they already made. It's like taking the next generation of X-Men. Like, we're not going to have Wolverine, but we're going to have somebody like Wolverine. He's going to be the Wolverine for this generation of viewers. We're not going to have huge Act Man. We're going to have the chick who played X-23 in Logan be the new Wolverine.
Right.
It's really cool the way that they did that, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting them to make him so sympathetic, because he is very sympathetic, and you're like, I get it. Like I like him, and obviously, I'm rooting for my boy Falcon. He's my guy, and I think the guy who becomes Captain America should be like, I shouldn't be Captain America because.
Right.
Captain America. So I still think it ultimately it's going to Falcon. It's going to be him. But I do like that.
I don't think so.
And the way that they get there, I think, is going to be interesting. And because I think what they're going to do is they're going to tempt these guys with some super soldier serum. Like, that's going to happen in the future of this. And and I feel like John Walker's gonna be like, all right, I'll do it, and Falcon's gonna be like, no. And then I think that's gonna jack up John Walker, and then he's gonna and he's gonna be a sympathetic villain where it's like, I feel bad for him, but he's a bad guy now, so it is what it is.
That's an interesting theory on that.
Yeah, because ultimately, like, they're even having a hard time being like, I hate you. But it was interesting. We saw the little moment of John Walker be like, stay out of my fucking way, or whatever.
Right.
Which Captain America wouldn't do that, though. He wouldn't say that. You know what I mean? But, it's a new day.
Okay, so John Walker is the same way, is in the same position as Falcon, right? Because Captain America goes, here's a shield. And Falcon's like, dude, it belongs to you. Like, there's a connection to it's your shield. I'm not going to pick it up. And then so the Smithsonian gets it, and then the American government goes, well, we need somebody.
But did they? Because like there was a long period of time from World War II to like modern day where there was no Captain America.
Right.
So like, do they need another Captain America? And that's where Falcon's head was at, was like, we don't need another Captain America. We had Captain America. There is no other Captain America. And that was his whole thing. But I'm sure if the government went to Falcon and was like, no, you are Captain America, he would have been like, okay, I'll do it for the American people. I think he would have.
I don't think so.
I think absolutely.
Think so. No, because he's like too busy now. He's too busy with his family. He's
not too busy. He's the Falcon, dude. He's out there fighting with Captain America. Captain America's out there, you know.
Right, but I think
they were there before Captain America even.
I think what the government is looking for is that PR person. Somebody to be not necessarily in the fight, which is kind of contradictory,
right? And I think that's
he does show up and fight, and it's like, oh shit. But I think they need somebody to, you know, shake hands and
right, but like
write autographs. And
I
stuff
think that
like
was the interesting sort of dynamic between like him and Falcon, where it's like he's out there shaking hands, kissing babies, or doing whatever. Well, Falcon was actually like, okay, this is what we have to do. We have to look into this. We have to figure it out. And like him and Bucky are working together to figure this shit out. Well, you know, like, and that's what Captain America would be more focused on than, you know what I mean?
Right.
And right, also
he's new to the job, dude. He's new to the job.
Yeah, for sure. But also I think it was interesting because we got another really kick-ass action set piece in this show where they were fighting on those trucks. And
on the trucks.
I liked that scene a lot. I thought it was really cool. But the whole time when John Walker showed up, I was like, I kind of want this to end because I want to see how they're going to interact afterwards. I kind of, you know, I was like, I want the tea, you know? Yeah.
But I think I want to jump into like their kind of reaction to the new Captain America.
They're bitter for sure.
They're such babies. It's just like, dude.
Well, they knew Cap. They knew Cap,
right?
And they were like friends with Cap.
It's like, hey, man, it's like being mad at the guy who replaced your friend on the football team because your friend broke his leg. It's like, yeah, well, my friend should be up there, and it's like, well, he literally can't. He broke his leg. I'm the next dude. All right, just.
But I think
cool. You know.
I think
they're just so mean to him, and he's just trying. He's like, "Hey, we should come up with a plan with this," and they're like,
"Yeah, I think there's like, more. What? There's more going on than we know yet, obviously, because the fact that like new Cap knew the counselor and stuff, it's like, what's going on there? That was kind of weird, but I
think it was just because like he heard and he's like, I need to get on their good side.
Well, there's a moment where like he's at the police precinct and the counselor's there and they see each other and they're like, oh yeah, we know each other. And they're like, how do you know each other? They're like, it doesn't matter. And then they just sort of move on from that. And it's like, that seems a little weird.
There could be some I missed that then. There could be some underlying thing about that.
But also, what was I going to say? Shit, I lost it.
I'm sorry.
Right. The reason, I think they give a good reason. Like, they're obviously overreacting. It's not his fault that he's Captain America.
Right.
It's more the government for like doing it. But
right.
They kind of explain why they're being such a jerk, at least for Bucky, when he's like, you know, if Cap was wrong about you, then he was wrong about me. Mm-hmm. And it's like, right. I feel that, you know, like I get that, you know.
But I feel like that has nothing to do with the new Cap. Like Bucky,
it does.
There's no reason Bucky should even feel the slightest bit of.
But like the new Cap, I mean, if
anger to this new guy.
If the old Cap says this should be Captain America, this man right here, you should probably, you know, put that into consideration, you know?
Right. But then that guy goes, nah, I'm not going to be that.
I don't even think it's that, though. I really think it's more like, I'm not worthy, you know, like I don't feel like I'm worthy. And I feel like Captain America would say that. Like I'm not worthy of this mantle. And you know, we saw the original Cap do that with the Mjolnir, where he's like, I won't lift that right now, you know.
Yeah,
like,
and that's one of the coolest scenes.
Yeah,
in Ultron, I think
Age
it
of
was.
Ultron, yeah. And
Yeah,
he's
that
like,
was
you know,
sweet.
I don't need to lift this right now. There's no reason for me to do that. And I feel like that's where Falcon is. He's like, there's no reason for me to be Captain America. We had Captain America, you know, and like that's his thought process. And then the government's like, no, we need one, you know. And
we need
it's
a
kind of
boy. We need Uncle Sam so that everybody can join the army, and that
shouldn't be the reason that Captain America exists.
Right. No, I agree, but also they shouldn't be so fucking mad at this new guy,
right? But
because
emotions,
it's not his fault. It's emotions said, hey,
are
do you
emotions.
Want this job? It's
I think
the most important job in America, and he's like, yeah, you know, like what an opportunity, like what a fucking job opportunity that like I'd take it, and then he's just trying to be helpful and friendly, and they just throw him off. But also, I wanted to get into, not to make this too long, but I wanted to get into
I've got more to say too.
Bucky and Falcon's relationship when they like go into the therapist session together. I didn't think that their relationship was earned at that point.
I didn't think they were fighting that much. They just seem like friends. So like they seem pretty close. I don't know.
Well, they seem
I kind of agree with you.
But then that's just like, well, I don't like him, and it's like, whoa, where'd this come from? Like you literally just were on a plane.
They're in a counseling
session.
I get it, because he's fucking pissed at him for not taking the shield.
Well, it's Bucky, but like the other guy, what is Falcon's name?
Sam,
that's what it is.
Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam. Yeah, that's right. Uncle Sam. Shit. Yeah, he's gonna fucking be Captain America.
Of course, he's Uncle Sam. But there was that moment, not to derail you what you were talking about, but there is that moment where on the semis where the shield gets thrown and Bucky like sort of grabs it like instinctually and is kind of like and then just like hands it back to him. You remember that?
I think that's the moment where he's like, I'm gonna steal this.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna use this shit.
I'm gonna take it for myself, because if Falcon's not gonna use it, I'm gonna use it.
Yeah. And I think ultimately, I think they're both gonna end up using it.
Right.
In the comics, both of them become Captain America at one point or another. But I think in this universe, it doesn't make much sense to make Bucky the Captain America. I mean, he literally was an assassin for like hundreds of years. So like, just as an optics sort of thing, it doesn't make much sense to have him be the new Captain America.
But in the overall arc of everything of the Marvel Universe, I think it would be so interesting if they kept the new guy as Captain America, and like the people who didn't watch the show but then go see the next movie, there's just a new fucking Cap.
Oh, they're definitely going to do something with that guy.
Hold on, what? You know,
that's
not Chris Hemsworth.
Evans.
Yeah. One of the Chris's.
They're definitely going to do something with that guy. One last point I want to bring up is when they went to meet Isaiah Bradley. And this show is handling this topic so masterfully, I think. The topic of racism.
It's so in your face, though.
I think it's pretty. It's there, but also pretty subtle. It's subtle enough that you're like, I don't feel like this is them just pushing an agenda. I feel like this just kind of fits with the story. So first of all, we'll talk about the point where the cops like show up. The cops stopping makes sense because it's two grown men arguing in the street, and that makes sense. What was interesting was they immediately focused on Falcon, and it's like, that's interesting,
right?
And that is accurate to how it would go down.
Right. I am not the
100%.
person. I am not the person to say any of this with any sort
You
of
could say whatever you want, dog.
with any sort of
Authority.
authority or concrete. This is the way it should be. But like I felt like them going to Isaiah's house and being like, "How come I've never heard of this guy ever?" As like that's pretty obviously it's because he's black, right? But then they have to like
I could break it down a little
home.
more.
Like the next scene, they hammer it home with the cops pulling him up, and it's like, oh, I get it, all right. Like,
But I feel like that's how it would go down too, though.
Yeah,
Especially in that neighborhood, there would probably be a lot of cops around. Just kind of how it is. But Isaiah Bradley, if you don't know, in the comics, and actually I think the show is going to end with both of them bringing the shield to Isaiah Bradley. I think that's how the show is going to end, and they're going to be like, you are Captain America. And because in the comic books, for people who don't know, Isaiah Bradley was actually Captain America before Captain America was Captain America, because the super soldier program, before they tested it on our guy, right, Steve Rogers,
yeah,
before they tested on him, they decided to do a bunch of tests on black people,
right,
which makes sense historically if you go back to like the syphilis tests and stuff like that, where literally they were poisoning people of color back then, and it makes a lot of sense. And Isaiah Bradley was that guy, and I believe he got the serum before Chris Evans, and I think the reason he's still alive is because he got the serum. He was around in World War II. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And they say that Bucky fought him in Vietnam or whatever. Was it
something
Vietnam?
Like that? Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, he's still out there fighting, but like people just don't talk about him.
It's what's weird to me is like Cap had to be frozen in order to make it all the way to the future
as a young man. Because he goes back to the 40s at that age, and he's still looking like Joe Biden, in Endgame.
He really does look like Joe Biden, doesn't he?
He does. Yeah. So, yeah, I think he was Captain America before Captain America, and I feel like the show is going to end with them bringing him the shield and like this is yours.
For the sake of the future of Marvel, and to just keep that character going, I feel like that would be the wrong move to do, even though it's the racially right thing to do.
But I think they're going to do that, and then he's going to be like, thank you, but it's actually yours. And then he gives it to Falcon. You know what I mean? Like, Falcon's going to end up with this goddamn shield.
I see.
Do you think and not to make this go too long, but there's so much to say. Do you think Falcon's going to end up with some super soldier serum in him?
No.
No?
No.
I think he might.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't think it'll be his choice, but I think he might.
I could see that, but I don't think so. I don't think that's where that show is going to be.
Yeah. I just know in the comics he does end up with some super soldier serum in him, but we'll see. The MCU very loosely follows the comics, and I appreciate that. They can do whatever they want, and I like that.
Yeah,
they follow it closely. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
It's like their comic book, because every artist has their rendition of their version of Batman, their version of Spider-Man. It's just like, this is, in my version, Joker's Batman. It's like, it's the same story ultimately, but it's different, and you don't know what's going to happen because it's somebody completely different writing through the same vessel.
It's like they look at it as a reference, and they respect the source material to such a high degree. Unlike, a movie like Catwoman, where they don't even look at the source material and they come up with their own fucking thing.
Right.
Which could be cool in its own right, but it wasn't in that case. But, you know, like Nolan's Batman very loosely follows anything, you know?
Anything, yeah.
But it's still one of the greatest movies ever. So, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You just luck out sometimes, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Or you're just Christopher Nolan.
Yeah. All right, well.
That's it.
Yeah, that was what we thought. We'll be back next week. Yeah. Fuck you. I'm saying it. We'll be back next week with episode 3. And we'll talk about it because there's a lot to talk about in this show. They go on a bunch of different tangents in this show.
Yeah, I'm excited. And the fact that it's like 50 minutes each episode, like they can do a lot in the next like 4 episodes, you know? So
yeah,
I'm excited to see where it goes. Also, Zemo. We didn't even mention that. We're gonna see Zemo next episode. That's cool. Excited.
I don't know who that is.
He was the bad guy in Civil War. He was the guy who was kind of like controlling Bucky for a long time, you know?
Oh, okay.
And that's why he's in prison. And then he's like, you really want to see him? He's like, well, yeah, I guess that's what we have to do. Yeah. So there you go. We'll see more next week.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited. Do you have an intro for this yet, or just fucking winging it?
I have this little, you know?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, now you don't even need to put it in.
I really want to get some like cheesy photos of us, and it's like us flashing to different photos, like being stupid, or like one of us dressed as Falcon and one dressed as the Winter Soldier. That would be pretty good. Just like different different poses, but it doesn't seem worth it considering the show ends in 3 weeks.
Yeah, so, but it would be so good. We got to do it for the next one. What's the next one to come out?
Loki.
Well, then we got to be Loki, and you be.
I'll be
whoever else is in that show. I don't know.
Thor.
I don't know.
I doubt Thor is good. He might make. But
we could get like those kids' costumes and put them on for like 20 bucks, and then that's what we do.
I love it. You take the lead. You do it.
You want me to take the lead?
You've taken the lead on the past too.
Yeah, so. I guess. Okay, here we go. Hello, boyos. This is what I don't know what we're calling this. The Spoilercast.
Spoilercast.
For Falcon and Winter Soldier, and we watched episode 3. I watched a couple days ago. You probably saw it right when it came out on Friday. I watched it on Saturday.
I also watched it on Saturday, actually.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna straight up give you a review of this one.
Yeah, what do you think?
Better than the last 2.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's what I'm gonna say.
It's interesting. First. It's interesting you say that because I watched it and I thought to myself, this is probably the weakest of the 3, and I know Nick is gonna love it the most. I just knew it was the case.
Can I give you like the basics of why? Well, I guess that's what the show is. I don't even have to ask permission. Fuck you.
Yeah, just go. Yeah.
So the art direction in the show has been top fucking notch.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so like the shots that they have and the colors and the
lighting, doesn't feel like a show. It feels like a movie. Yeah.
And when they go to, I think what stood out to me is when they go to Hong Kongamin or whatever it's called, Ho Chi Minh, the fake Japan or fake Hong Kong, Madrid more or some shit like that.
Yeah.
That was the coolest part for me. Like just the setting it up, and they're on the bridge and they're walking towards the car and they're all dressed nice and whatnot. They look fucking they're cyberpunked out, and they're just walking to this car, and then the car opens up and they get in, and then they get into like the city, and it's like exactly what you'd expect. It's low life. Everybody's got a gun, and there's neon signs everywhere. There's a outdoor bar, and there's fights that happen. Like the only thing we were missing from that was just rain. Like if it was raining in that scene, it would have been fire.
It reminds me of the scene in Endgame where what's his butt shows up, the Arrow Man. Hawkeye. Maybe that's
Hawkeye, but Ronan at that point.
Maybe that's where he was. I don't know.
It could be. Yeah, but I fucking love that. That was so cool, and the line that gets delivered about Falcon's like get up. He's like, I feel like a pimp. And then Vimo's like, only people from America, something about only people in America would say a finely dressed black man looks like a pimp. And I'm like, dude, yes.
So
he looks so good. It looks perfect,
so fun
dude.
Fun fact about that. Falcon, much like a lot of characters in the early times, has a bit of a problematic origin story that they retconned later on. He started out as a pimp, like a
really?
black pimp. So this is sort of like a, I think that was like a little homage to his like original origin, I guess. I only know that because I like watched one of those Easter egg videos. It's like, hey, also another fun little Easter egg. It's not really an Easter egg. It's just a fun fact. Did you know that new Captain America is played by Kurt Russell's son?
No way.
It's just a fun fact. Yeah.
I had no idea. That's awesome.
Kurt Russell's son. Yeah, there you go.
Cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, I loved this episode. I thought it had all of the pizzazz. Like you get the prison scene where he like lets him out of prison somehow, like miracles of TV,
Yeah. I liked that scene though.
It was kind of cool.
Very like Ocean's, like an Ocean's 11 type.
And it's funny you say that too, because then when Vimo like meets them in like that junkyard or the shop, like the auto shop, it was like, wow, I'm getting like buddy cop vibes, like old school Fast and the Furious right now. Like
this
really cool.
Show is like hitting hard on the Lethal Weapon sort of like Lethal Weapon 3 sort of thing. Yeah.
And then they all go to Madridamore or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And knocked it out with that. And then even the like black market selling of
the paintings and stuff.
The paintings is like, whoa, this is fucking cool as shit. I loved it.
Yeah.
Of course, you got the stupid where Sharon's just fucking happens to be in the crowd
just there,
and overhears the conversation. It's like, okay, yeah, whatever. But
yeah, you know me though. I'm a character. I'm a simple plot, complex character kind of man. That's kind of where I stand on everything. Where I'm like, I want a simple plot with complex characters, and to me, this was a very complex plot to the point where I was kind of like, what is who are these people? Like, what's happening? Like, I can't imagine like you're watching this show and you've never seen any of the Avengers stuff. You'd probably be very confused. And because like me, as someone who's watched all of it, I felt myself being like, what is happening? I really had to like critically think about what the fuck was going on. But I guess it doesn't matter that much. They'll probably explain more of it as it goes on.
I think the biggest thing that you kind of have to think about when you're watching this episode is the only reason they get to where they're going is because they got a name of somebody and somebody knows somebody. Yeah. And that's the whole plot line throughout this whole episode is, oh, we got a name of this guy. I'm going to go talk to that guy. That guy knows somebody. We're going to go talk to this guy because that guy knows somebody. And then we're going to go talk. And it's just like, okay. So yeah, it kind of jumps all over the place, but it
does feel like, go ahead. Sorry.
Like what you said with like, you're a man who likes simple plot with complex characters. I love locations. I absolutely love locations.
Yeah, like that's
fair. Fucking Rogue One in the Star Wars story, I love that because they jumped all over to these different planets, and it's like, this is cool. This is what Star Wars is. It's kind of like showing you different locations, and I dig that. Where this is just like the cinematography, it kind of like John Wick almost, where it's like now they're fighting in a mall, now they're in a glass like maze and stuff like that. It's like, fuck, this is cool.
Really fun fact, and really fun that you brought up John Wick, because another fun fact for you, the director of this episode directed John Wick.
No shit.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
That makes sense.
Yeah, especially with like the Sharon Carter stuff where she's outside
just
murdering
people.
Yeah,
killing people.
I love how they make that PG-13 where it's like you see the knife like almost going in and then just like behind the back shot. So it's like this would be rated R otherwise.
Yeah, and then she like you see her shoot a guy, and then they turn a corner, and you see her like with her arm outstretched, but nothing else, and it's like, oh,
yeah.
It was pretty fucking. It was badass. I gotta say, I was really good at that. I was very when Sharon started fighting those guys in the shipping containers. It's like, oh, well, she's just gonna wrestle them to the ground. This is fucking Marvel. Nobody hurts anybody in this stupid thing, and then they're actually killing people. I'm like, what?
Well, Marvel has kind of taken. Oh, sorry about that. Marvel has kind of taken a different route as far as like like Batman doesn't kill. Pretty much since the beginning, they've been like, yeah, these guys kill people. Like they're basically military people. Like they kill people. It happens. Yeah. They don't take shortcuts on that. They're like, yeah, they do. It happens. I mean, and this show is kind of leading to something that I'd like to get your opinion on, just to get to some speculations. I wonder because Zemo has a deep connection to Sokovia, right?
Right.
And what if because now Sokovia is destroyed, but there's still probably some refugees there that like don't have homes. They need a new place to stay. Now, hear me out. Disney just got the Fantastic Four, and they just got Doctor Doom, and he is the leader of Latveria. So what if he takes Sokovia and creates a new country called Latveria? And
dude, I'm all for it, man. If that's like the end, like the after credit scene is like Doom's fucking helmet just sitting and getting lifted up onto somebody's head. Oh, I would want that so bad.
I don't know if we're going to see that, but this might be planting the seeds of like Sokovia is more important than we think. I also like in this episode that they kind of went full heel on John Walker, basically just like, yeah, John Walker doesn't get the vibes, dude. He doesn't get the powers go into his head a little where he's arguing with the guy and he's like, do you know who I am? And the guy's like, I don't care who you are. Like,
do you mean like, do you know who I am? It's so high pitched. It's like, oh, okay, wow.
He sounds like a Karen, absolutely. And and the person's like, I don't care if it says you're Captain America. You're not Captain America. Yeah. So I like that. I like that we got the one episode where it's like, okay, he's sympathetic, but now it's like, okay, powers go in his head. But also our heroes, Falcon and Winter Soldier, we kind of see them doing kind of questionable stuff. Breaking Zemo out of prison.
Zemo out, absolutely.
Yeah, that's some pretty questionable stuff. And then like, it was to stay in cover, but like Bucky kicked some people's asses in that bar.
He sure did. Broke a few bones at least. Yeah,
it was I like that moment where he's like, he just jumped right back into it,
Yeah. That was really cool. That whole, he said soldier attack or some shit like that. Yeah. And he just goes off. But I fucking love this. I love this episode because
Zemo's so good. Yeah.
He's really good.
He's really good. Yeah.
And then I thought after he kills the guy and the like scientist guy in the shipping containers, I'm like, oh, he's just gonna leave. But then he comes back and saves their asses.
I know, it's so weird. It's like
what?
That.
What is going on now?
He's doing the long con. That's not what I expected from the show at all. I didn't expect them to like work together and like. It's very Lex Luthor vibes from Zemo.
For sure. Yeah.
But I also like that he killed the vaccine guy, the super soldier guy,
the serum guy, yeah.
Because that is such a great way of them being like, that's a plot in this show, and we don't have to deal with it again for a while because that guy is dead now.
He's dead.
The serums, there's 20 of them. That's it. We're done.
Well, that's such a good like like they didn't even have to retcon because they're just like,
Yeah.
okay, we're gonna plan this out. There's 20 of them, and this guy didn't make any more.
Yep. And now he's
You know,
dead.
and
Yeah.
now he's dead. So
But
yeah, they saved their asses on that one.
I don't know if you got this vibe at all. There was like a little moment when the meth lab was about to explode. You know, the lab where he makes the super soldier serum.
Right.
And it kind of shakes, like the serum shakes, and I thought it was gonna explode, and I thought our boy Falcon was like gonna absorb it or some shit. And I'm like, I feel like they're hinting at it. I feel like they're like,
I didn't get that. I didn't notice
really?
it like
Okay.
that. I don't believe that he would take it or he would get it. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think that is the way.
I do
it's
think
going.
John
So
Walker is going to, because you could tell he's like, I want that serum. Like,
right, yeah, especially in this episode.
yeah, you get that vibe from him. Like,
He's
he
like,
wants that serum.
Well, I think at this point he wants like respect. You know,
Yeah. And even
he's kind of-
Battlestar, his bud is like, hey, you need to calm down a little there, John.
Yeah. He's like, no, I'm Captain America.
He's like, you need to calm the fuck down, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the way that it's going right now. He kind of flopped. Yeah, he healed. You know, it's just like
a little bit of a heel turn.
We're gonna lay off of him a little bit. And I was
Well,
like,
to the
shit.
point where they like get to Zemo and like how he got broken out, and they're like, I mean, we can't prove that this is Falcon and Bucky. And he's like, I don't care if it is or not. We're gonna put it on them. Like, this is their fault.
Right. Yeah.
Basically confirming, like, yeah, this guy doesn't give a fuck. He's a bad guy.
Yeah. Well,
he's not the worst of the bad guys, but he's a bad guy.
He wants to get the shit done.
Yeah.
I think you brought this up last time we were talking, or something, and there was a scene where after Bucky and Falcon leave the shipping container, Sharon like meets up with some lady and they get into a car.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, maybe Sharon's either working for the power broker or is the power broker.
Yeah.
And
I feel like she might be.
And it would make a lot of sense if she got like pardoned. Like if if she's like the power broker and Falcon gets her pardon. Yeah. And then it's like, oh shit, everything's fine now, you know?
It's just such an interesting direction to go with this character, because like, you know, she's a Carter, you know, you expect her to be the good guy, but in this it's a bit more nebulous, where she's kind of like the Catwoman of this show, I guess, where she's kind of not good, not bad, sort of like, but you know, for a person that's been on the run for, I guess, 7 years now, you know, she's landed on her feet pretty well.
Well, you just look at Ronan or Hawkeye.
Yeah,
how he kind of turns into Ronan in that same kind of time frame.
It's easy for these guys to go in a sort of evil direction, I guess.
Right. Yeah. But if your whole family's dead or nobody accepts you, you don't have a family anymore. It's like, who do you turn to? You know?
I'm excited to see where they go with her. It did feel weird though, because it felt like that could have been any character. Like that could have been just, you know, some other agent. But I feel like they wrote it that way, and they're like, what's a character we can put on this?
We can pull back, yeah.
Sharon Carter. We kind of didn't explain much with her. Yeah, let's make it Sharon Carter.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. I liked the episode. I liked the other ones more. I don't know.
I get it. I get it. Yeah, it's not like a specific thing that you can point out. It's just like you had more fun.
This one was just like really confusing to me through a lot of it, but maybe on purpose because it's going to explain some of that. I also the movement. I forget what they're called. You know, the
flag stompers.
Yeah, the flag stompers. That sounds right. You know, it really felt like they were making them sympathetic villains until at the very end when she's like, "Oh yeah, that's the only language they speak," and she like murders all those people.
Yeah, and you're like, "Oh, these are bad people."
Yeah.
This chick is nuts. Yeah. I get that they were trying to do like some sort of sympathetic bad guy thing, and this was supposed to be like the turn. I didn't get that. It was like, because you know, all terrorist organizations, I'm sure, have some sort of like code within inside, like they're a family, right? We care about each other, and it's easy to show that from that side, um and then on the other side it's just death and destruction for everybody else.
Yeah.
But we care about our family and our family only. So I kind of knew, I felt like it was going that way anyway.
Yeah, there's still a lot to be seen with them. I feel like definitely with like the next episode is going to delve more into what's going on with them, I think.
For sure. One more thing, unless you have something else. I was gonna say,
I definitely do. Yeah, there's one more big thing to talk about. For sure.
Okay, I was just gonna say before we wrapped up that I think I'm actually liking Falcon and Winter Soldier more than WandaVision, but that could only be because we're doing this show and we're kind of like tearing it apart and like talking about it. Like it's hard to do that now during the pandemic. So now with this like avenue of discussion, it's just like,
I really
that was a really cool show, you know, and it's really
liked
fun
WandaVision though.
It was good. Don't get me wrong, it was good, but just thinking back on it, it's like, man, that show's really good. And
but you know me, I'm a character guy, and that show is 100% a character study of just like Wanda and like what's going on with her and stuff.
But there's so much unanswered in that show at the end.
Yeah, but I think they did that on purpose because it's like she's going to be a big part of Doctor Strange.
Which would be awesome. I'm ready for Doctor Strange, dude.
Well, it's already confirmed that she's in it.
Right.
So, I'm excited for that movie. Next year, let's do this. Yeah. But there is one more big thing that we didn't mention at the very end of the episode. We got Wakanda lady, whose name
that's right. That's right.
Is passing me, and it made me think to myself. Well, first of all, I wasn't expecting to see Wakanda, but it makes so much sense because Bucky is like intrinsically connected to them now, and also Zemo killed their leader. So like, it makes so much sense that they're there and that they're like, "Hey, you broke out Zemo. What the fuck are you doing, White Wolf?" But it also it made me think, and it's like, oh, this is called Falcon and Winter Soldier. And I think by the end of this show, they're both going to have new monikers because I don't think he wants to go by Winter Soldier anymore, right? So like, what would make more sense than him just like actually hooking up with the Wakandans and fully becoming the White Wolf, and like that's his new moniker and that's who he is. And Falcon obviously becomes Captain America. I mean, I feel like that's pretty obvious. But
I could see that, but I feel like they already did that in one of the movies, if I'm not mistaken, or like alluded to it in the movie because he like hangs out with the Wakandans.
Right, because he gets fucked up and they like repair his arm.
What movie is that?
That's at the end of Civil War, right? They send him to Wakanda. Okay,
so I guess it could be bridging the gap for us because we don't really see it. But then in Infinity War, you see him still there with them, so you kind of assume. So I guess I could see that happening.
Yeah, but that's only because he was fucked up. But now I think it's gonna be like, hey, I just want to like stay with you guys forever. It could want to be part of your tribe, you know. And
they just kind of go separate ways, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I definitely think the show's gonna end like that, where they're just like, okay, I'll see you at the next Avengers meeting, bud.
I'll see you at the next big world event, I guess.
Next time, you know, the Silver Surfer shows up or whatever.
Oh, dude, yes.
It's gonna happen.
Bring the Fantastic Four. Come on, I want it.
It's gonna happen. Where do you think the show's gonna go? Just to wrap it up.
I think Wakanda. I think Vemo's gonna go to Wakanda and get like locked up there. Did I say Vemo?
You did.
Zemo. I think Zemo's gonna they're gonna like lock him up in Wakanda, and I don't know, dude. I think
there's so much going on.
I think like, Captain America is gonna be the big bad, and they're gonna have to fight him for the shield, and Sam's gonna pay for his boat, and one of them is
Wakanda.
Going to be.
You think Wakanda will just be like, "Here's a new boat"?
I don't know, dude.
They can make him a boat.
he'll run into a whole bunch of money that the syringe people have or something like that. I don't know. And he'll do a fucking Too Fast, Too Furious where he gives most of the money back, but he saves like a couple bills, just to pay for himself. And it's just like, yeah, we ain't eat. Well, I can't remember what he says in the movie, but he like lifts up his shirt and he's got a couple of bills strapped to his belt. It's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that's where it's going right now. But this show has been kind of crazy.
So this show like began shooting, I think, in like late 2019. So pre-pandemic, they shot a lot of this, which is also before our friend Chadwick Boseman passed away. What are the chances that we actually see him show up in this show? I feel like it's possible.
I think it's possible, but I don't know if the chances are high. Maybe 30%.
Yeah.
Unless they do like a tribute kind of thing, and this is like his last thing. They'll like put a scene in him, like when they.
You think
maybe they do go
that?
To Wakanda?
They'll probably explain like what happened with him in the next Black Panther movie. I'd imagine.
You think there's going to be another one?
Yeah, that's already confirmed.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
don't know what they're gonna do to deal with that, but
they'll replace them just like they replaced.
But all the like power flowers or whatever are gone. I don't know if you saw Black Panther.
I didn't.
Yeah, there's the way he gets his powers is by like eating the flowers, but then like Michael B. Jordan sets him on fire or whatever, and I don't know. Who knows?
They'll just Cheetle it.
Yeah,
they'll replace them with somebody else.
Well, I think that's a little different because like that was just like a money dispute, and this is, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people would be like, that's disrespectful. It'd be like,
but then it would be like giving the shield to not Captain America, not.
But that's different because it's still like a different character. Because they're definitely going to do that, where they're going to pass the mantle of Black Panther to someone else.
Right, for sure.
But like as far as like recasting T'Challa, I don't think you can do.
Right.
But that'd be like recasting Princess Leia. You just can't do it.
True.
For episode 9 at least. I'd be fine with, you know what? Just as a quick side tangent here. I'd be fine with them recasting the OG3 in Star Wars if it was like the younger versions and they show up in like the Obi-Wan show or whatever, or Mandalorian. I'd be fine with that. I don't want to see them in CG. It looks like ass every time they do it.
It does look like ass.
Every time they do it, it looks like ass.
Especially, well, we could talk about Star Wars forever. Well,
yeah.
Can we? Yeah, because I'll
Can we stop?
can we stop? Because we'll just keep going and going, and this will be like a 700-hour thing.
All right. Well, that's the show.
Cool. Thanks. What up, boyos? Let's just fucking jump straight into it. This is the Spoilercast for Falcon Winter Soldier. Dude, this fucking episode.
It was wild.
It was I haven't talked to you about it at all. I haven't mentioned it.
It's true.
And it was so hard for me last night to not mention it because I'm like, there's some shit fucking happened in this episode, and I kind of want to dive into that.
Yeah.
Hence this fucking Spoilercast. So what are your thoughts on it? We'll start with your thoughts this week.
Okay, yeah. I liked it. There was some stuff I really liked. The ending was fucking, that visual of New Cap with the blood on the shield.
Oh, with the shield, yeah.
This really felt like a setup episode. Like this is setting up for the next two, like to wrap it up. You know, this felt like this is the one that's setting all the things into motion. So it's really setting up that Sam's good guy. He's like, hey, this is what I do. I talk to people. You know, like if I don't need to fight, I don't want to fight. I want to talk about it. You know, where the New Cap is like, fuck that. We should fight and kill things.
I'm getting antsy. Let's go fuck shit up because America.
Yeah, they should respect me because I am Captain America. And then it also sets up that, Falcon is like, no, I won't take the serum. Where the new one did take the serum.
His name's John Walker. But,
John Walker. Yeah. You get what I mean, though.
I know what you mean.
So like that was interesting. Zemo also got away. So it's like setting up like what's going to happen with Zemo. The Flag Smashers, officially, they're just bad guys now. They're out for blood now. Sam tried talking them down, but now
fucking John Walker ruined it.
Yeah, that ship has sailed. But yeah, what do you think?
Dude, I fucking loved it. I gotta say, Zemo, the guy who plays Zemo,
he's great. Yeah,
he's fucking fantastic in this show. He is so fucking good. Like the whole character and the whole dynamic between them, the writing for him, that's just everything about that character makes the show really great.
Yeah.
He's so good. Like, I fucking love it. But well, I wanted to hit on a couple of notes. I don't really remember how it started. Didn't it start with them? What do you remember how it started?
I watched it on Thursday night, so like it's been a little bit.
Oh, okay, it's been a little bit. I can remember them like going and talking and like trying to figure out who this girl is who died, and they're trying to figure out where the funeral is. I think that's as early as I can remember.
Well, and it starts with him talking to the Wakanda lady.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And then they kind of like have that flashback where it's like, it's not really like a training, but she's just kind of going through it, and then he doesn't actually activate when she says the words, and it's it's like the end of his rehabilitation.
But also like maybe try saying them in English, because like that's how they or in the right language, because didn't they do it in German or something?
Something.
I don't remember. I feel like she was doing it in like a different language, and I was like, would that work? I don't know.
Yeah, so that was cool.
I should preface though, I said I liked the episode. I have some serious issues with the episode though too. So
you do? Okay.
Yeah. I'll get into that in a bit.
So yeah, they do that. It kind of sets up Bucky a little bit better, like gives him a little bit of a backstory.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, well, we got this name. This show runs on its fucking names. We got this name, and we're gonna go investigate this name and ask these little kids about this name. So they all go to this place that they know of, I guess. I don't exactly remember how they get there, but they get there and they're like, hey, have you heard of this person? Everybody's like, no. And then Zemo like hands candy to kids, and then the kids are open to them because kids are fucking stupid. But
there's some more to be unraveled there for sure, because like I took it as like this is where I have a hard time with the names in this show, like remembering who everyone is and what everyone's name is. But
especially with the Flag Smasher.
Yeah, the Flag Smasher girl. I can't remember her name, but I took it like she grew up in this thing. I don't know, or was.
Well, I think they were like snapped, and they came back, and now there's no place for them, and their lives are totally fucked up, and that's kind of who those people are.
Flag Smashers are really interesting because it's like these are like people who are like Thanos was right.
Right.
Because I thought the Flag Smashers were like, things were looking better when the snap happened, and now that everyone's back, things are just kind of back to business as usual. People are getting displaced again. I was once cared about, now no one gives a shit, and that's sort of what the Flag Smashers are all about. It seems.
It seems like that for sure.
Yeah, it's weird.
So like they like get information, and then John Walker and his sidekick. I forget what his sidekick's name is.
Battlestar.
Battlestar. That's what it is. I knew you would know it. So they like run into them and they're like, "Oh, what kind of information do you guys have? We're doing this," and then they give them information and they team up for a second, only so that John Walker can fucking ruin the whole setup.
Yeah.
And then the Flag Smashers are like, "Fuck you. We're not talking to you anymore. You're a liar and a traitor and whatnot." I don't really want to go through the whole episode just fucking spoiling it. I just want to hit the points. The fucking... we got to talk about...
That's pretty much the whole episode. I mean...
Yeah. But we got to talk about, like, key points. Fucking Battlestar dies.
Yeah, he gets murked. Yeah.
Like, and... okay, so one of the biggest issues I had with this scene is she's, like, going at John Walker with a knife. And she's, like, gonna fucking kill him. And then Battlestar gets in the way and she kicks him and kills him instead. And then when he's like down and like, you know, oh my God, my friend is dead. Why didn't she just go and continue to stab him?
Because I think she was like, oh, fuck. Like, I don't think she was, you know, because I think she acknowledges that like Battlestar had no ill intention, you know? And,
right.
And she's like, oh, fuck, I'm out of here. Like, this is getting too heavy for me. I got to get out of here. And we got to run. And also, I think she could sense the rage on old John Walker there. Yeah, he was definitely raged out.
Yeah.
I loved that death scene was so gruesome, too, because it wasn't like... It wasn't like he got... That was like impact trauma, just
yeah.
Which is something you never see in superhero movies, because like people get flung through walls all the time. And you're like, that would kill someone, and this show is like, it would.
It actually fucking did. Yeah. So he actually hits the wall, and like it cracks the column, and you're like, man, that dude's dead. And it really kind of hits you. It really kind of hits everybody in that show, and everybody just kind of stops fighting and goes, holy shit, you know?
Yeah. It was also really interesting. I really liked the scene where they sit down. It's Battlestar and John Walker, and they're like sitting down having tea or whatever the fuck they're doing. And he's like, so would you take the serum? And he's like, oh yeah. I would take that serum. Just like John Walker's like, all right, that's my validation to take it.
Right.
Or
friend.
He probably had already taken it at that point, honestly. But like,
you think so?
I think so, yeah.
I don't think so, because you see in the next scene, like at the next scene you see him in, he's like twitching and shit, and you know, like kind of losing it, and he wasn't in that scene before. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So I don't think he took it there. I think he was like looking for it. And he's like, hey man, I found this serum. It's the only one left. I'm gonna take this shit. And Battlestar's like, yeah, dude, take that shit. You'll be unstoppable. And he just got his ass kicked by the Wakandan ladies. And he's like, he had like a whole mental breakdown of like, they weren't even super soldiers.
Yeah.
And it's like
just big crybaby moment.
Yeah.
I like that scene. But also, it's like they're there to get Zemo, and they just like let him get away, and they all seem sort of unfazed by it too. They're like, "Well, he got away. Oh well," and it's like, dudes, he got away because of you. It's totally your fault.
And I think that's why they're all so nonchalant about it, because if they weren't,
not my fault.
Like, if it was like somebody else like left him away. Or let him get away, then they would be real fucking pissed. But since it's them, they're like, whatever.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. Like
that was 100% their fault. But
yeah.
And also, I feel like the Wakandans are just there to like give Bucky something to do with his story, and like seeing him get his arm removed was kind of interesting.
It was cool.
How did he know how to put it back on?
I don't know. I was thinking the same thing. I figured he just went, I guess this goes here, and then it just kind of grabs, and yeah. But that kind of leads to the question, like, if somebody else who didn't have an arm, could they put that on and it would work for them?
Well, it looks like he has like a little slot on his torso,
shoulder, his armhole.
Yeah, it looks like it connects to something, you know? Like there's definitely like a little port there or whatever. Yeah. I said there was some things that I didn't like about the episode. One of them was that the Wakandans were just like, he's getting away, and we don't care. And it's just like, why would that? He got away for plot convenience, and that's really all it was. And it's so weird because he had so many opportunities to get away, and it's like, this is the way he got away.
Well, the thing is, like,
so random.
Yeah. But the thing is, I think they set
through
that
a
up
sewer,
for his character.
Through a sewer, and no one went in after him.
Right. Yeah.
Like, what are you guys doing?
So there was a huge problem with that. I feel like he could have just walked out the front door.
Yeah.
You know? Like, because I thought that's what he was doing, was walking out the front door, and then they're like, "Oh, did he just pull a Chapo?" And I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, really? He went down through the toilet?" But I think his character was set up to be that kind of like, whatever, I'll just roll with it, and if I see an opportunity, I have an opportunity, you know?
He had several opportunities in the last episode, though.
But I think he wanted to destroy the serum, and now that he has, now he can get away, you know, because it's the scene right after that. He's like, I need these guys to find the serum so I can destroy it.
Yeah, and then
he did.
It is kind of Zemo's MO to like put people against each other, because that's what he did in Civil War, where he kind of pitted Iron Man and Captain America against each other. He did the same sort of with this, where he's pinning Sam and John Walker like against each other. So yeah, that is kind of within his wheelhouse to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, and then he just kind of walks out, and I feel like that was totally in character for him, regardless of the fact that they just totally let him get away. The Wakandans just like, like there's like, I feel like they're just fighting, but at any point, like, somebody's always watching Zemo, right? Somebody has to be.
Be number one priority. Yeah.
Right. He just walks out and nobody notices, and it's like, okay, maybe that's why he went into the bathroom, because he's like, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom, and everybody's like, oh, that's the bathroom. He didn't walk out the front door. He's pooping in there. Yeah. He's pulling a Jurassic Park in there.
One of the other issues I had was Flag Smasher Girl, who I just cannot remember her name. She calls Sam's sister, and she's like, hey, I'm blah blah blah, do you know who I am? And his sister's just like, oh yeah, I know who you are.
I saw you on the news.
Oh yeah, how are you doing? It's good to hear from you. It's just like, okay,
Carly Morgenthau.
Yeah, okay, Carly. But she's just like, oh yeah, you're fine. Yeah, it's good to hear from you. And then she's like, well, I'm gonna kill you and your sons. And she's like, well, okay, I'd prefer if you didn't, but like that's cool.
Yeah. That's the total. So, there's just a total tone shift. But I think they did that because she's just so inexperienced with what she's doing. Like, she's like,
but I mean, from like the sister's end, it just sounded so weird. She's just like, oh yeah, I know who you are. It's just like, oh, that's fine. Go ahead. That's cool. And I think it was...
I don't know. I didn't get that. Because if like some murderous guy like just called you, if like, I don't know, Ben Shapiro fucking called you up,
I'd be like, holy shit, how'd you get my number? What the fuck?
All right, not Ben Shapiro. I can't. The Zodiac.
But like, if it were,
like, I'm the Zodiac killer, and
I'd be like, holy fuck, how'd you get my number? That would be my first question. How the fuck did you get my number?
But I think
how do you know who I am? Like,
I think this situation is more serious than like, holy shit, how'd you get my number? It's like, hey, I'm this terrorist. I'm Osama bin Laden calling you directly. I have your phone number.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck. And you don't want to say like, how'd you get my number? It's just like, I don't want to give anything away. I don't want to say anything to these people.
I just feel like they set up the sister in the first episode. We haven't seen him in 2 episodes. Now she's here. So they set her up in the first episode just to become a sort of damsel in distress later in the show, as like what Sam is fighting for. And it's just
I didn't get that. I didn't get that from that scene.
Well, it's not that scene. I just get that from that character in general, because it's just like we haven't heard from her this entire time, except for that one time where she calls and blows his cover or whatever. But like,
right,
it just seems like that whole side plot is forgotten.
Yeah,
but I've got an interesting fact for you here, Nick.
All right, let's see it. Let's hear it.
And this is just like rumors that I've heard online, is that there is a subplot of this show that they have completely cut out of the show due to COVID. And it was when they were shooting the show, you know, they didn't know how bad COVID was going to be. So one of the subplots of the show was like a pandemic thing. And they're like, oh, and as they were doing it, they're like, maybe we don't do that. And
I wonder if it's like, if they wanted like the super serum to get everywhere.
Yeah, maybe.
Instead of, you know,
yeah, maybe it got people sick or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they ditched that, it seems. But there is 2 more episodes. Who knows? Maybe there's a pandemic in the next 2 episodes.
Yeah, maybe they you know, we talked last episode or the episode before that like Doom could be introduced or of some form of.
I don't think that he's going to get introduced, but
right, but some form of the Fantastic Four is going to be teased, you know, and I'm not really feeling that anymore. I don't feel like it really has a place.
I don't think this is the
anymore.
Show. I don't think you need to do it in this show.
But I like the show. I like the show a lot. And that final scene where Cap is fucking smashing that dude's face in for no reason other than he's angry.
And it's just because they set up earlier in the show, that was the guy that's like, you know, I used to like Captain America, you know. Like,
oh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's like, oh shit, like this dude now, Carly or whatever her name is definitely gonna be like, fuck Captain America, fuck these people, like it's done. Like after that. And it's also such an interesting comparison to him and Steve Rogers, because there's a very similar scene to that in Captain America Civil War, where he has the shield and he's over Tony and Tony's mask is off, and then he just hits the thing in his chest and smash
and then he walks away.
And
that was like the end of that fight.
Yeah, it shows the difference between these 2 guys. So I have a couple questions though.
Yeah.
Do you think we're gonna see Steve Rogers?
No.
Oh. Okay.
No. I think he's dead.
I think we'll see him.
I think he's either dead or he's back in the timeline. Maybe.
I feel like that's something they should explain, at least, or explicitly say.
That he died? I don't think they need to say anything about it.
Really?
I think they just leave it open and you keep you guessing as into like, is he here? Is he not here? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because everybody talks about him like he's dead or gone back. You know, like he won't be coming back. You know.
Yeah, I like the show a lot. I love that visual of John Walker with the blood on his shield. What do you think the future of John Walker is going to be in the coming episodes and MCU in as a whole?
You said he was somebody famous or somebody's son, right?
Yeah. He's Kurt Russell's son.
Kurt Russell's son. That's right.
Which Kurt Russell was in the MCU as well.
As what? I don't remember.
He was Star-Lord's dad.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
So that's probably how he got the job.
It's hard for me to tell if he's going the way of his father. I don't think he'll be in the MCU
I think it's
anymore.
one and done.
I think it might be one and done.
I don't know.
Or they could. I don't know that much about like Captain America, so they could do like this would be a very Spider-Man thing to do. They put him in jail, right, or whatever prison.
Yeah.
And then we get like end credit scenes of him in later things down the road of him in prison, like talking to other villains who were just hanging out in prison or whatever. Like at like the end of Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming, where Vulture goes to prison and Scorpion walks into him and he's like, "Hey, somebody told me you knew who Spider-Man was." And he's like, "Nah."
He'll be part of the like Sinister Six or whatever.
Yeah, the Sinister Six.
That might be. Well,
I don't think he'll be part of the Sinister Six, but I think that I don't know, something could happen where somebody needs something, some bad guy needs something.
I don't think he'll necessarily. I don't think he'll necessarily become like a full-on bad guy.
No, he would be like a henchman. I think.
I don't even think he's gonna be like that. I think he'll be a sort of like in-betweener guy, because he does want to do the right thing, and like I think he has good intentions. It's just how he goes about it. Because I know, like in the comics, he's still like a good guy, but he's not Captain America.
He might be Warhammer. No, War
Machine.
War Machine. Thank you. He might be War Machine 2.0.
We are getting a War Machine show soon. So
really?
Year. Yeah, next year.
It's Don Cheadle, right?
Don Cheadle, my boy. Last thing before we wrap it up. All right.
Okay, sure.
Did you watch the trailer for Loki?
That's exactly what I was gonna bring up. I'm like, I have one more thing. Hold on. Yes, dude. Fuck yes. It looks so good. It looks so good. What the fuck is gonna happen?
All I have to say is, wow. Ka-chow.
Oh wow.
It's funny because like in our last episode, we're like, Loki and whoever else is in that show.
Yeah.
It's fucking Owen Wilson.
It's Owen Wilson.
Dude, I'm so excited to see Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson just like jump off of each other. Like that's a perfect pairing that I didn't know I wanted, but I'm so happy I'm getting it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Dude, if this is, I wanted to bring this up because if Captain America is going to come back in a show, it will be this show because Owen Wilson's like a time cop. He's a fucking time cop.
Yeah, this is like the fucked up timelines. You're right. So we could see not old Cap, because I think in this one we could see old Cap, but maybe in that one we could see normal Cap, where Cap is going back in time to fix his timelines or whatever, and that's one of them that he has to go fix. So maybe Cap is like the big bad of that episode of that show.
That would be interesting.
That'd be so fucking cool, dude.
How weird. I'm super stoked. It comes out on the May 11th, I think.
Yeah, so we've got 2 more episodes of this show, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Then we'll get like a how it was made episode, and then we'll get Loki. I think that's how it's
really
gonna go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just like 3 or 4 weeks from now.
Just like how they did with WandaVision in this show, where there was a week off where they put this is how we made WandaVision. And
I didn't even know that was a thing.
You didn't watch it?
I didn't see that. I didn't see it. No, it
was cool. Yeah. So that's what I think of that.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I think of that. Yeah, dude. Loki looks great. It looks really good.
Yeah, I'm excited. And it's gonna be interesting because it's not the Loki of Thor. Thor Ragnarok. Like, it won't be that Loki. It's the Loki post Avengers
Infinity
1.
War. Right. Not Infinity War. Yeah, post Avengers. Yeah.
Just the original Avengers. So
right.
So he's still pretty diabolical at that point.
But I think they'll have like references to his newer shit, the new shit that's going on.
Well, he's dead, so
Is he?
yeah, he dies at the beginning of Infinity War. Thanos just fucking wrecks him.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, Loki's super dead.
Is that on the ship when they're all on the ship?
Yeah,
After. Okay.
yeah. Because he kills him in front of Thor because Loki actually goes to defend Thor. And
Right.
that's like the growth that we got to see with Loki since the first Avengers, where he was the main bad guy to where Thor Ragnarok, they're almost working as partners.
Right.
And then he actually tries to save his brother and dies for his brother in Infinity War. So
Speaking of working with partners, I really enjoy the direction that Marvel is going with all the buddy cop movies that they're putting out, like buddy cop shows.
That's true.
It just works so well for this format. Like,
yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah, especially for like TV where it's like just two dudes sort of, the classic two bros in TV. We've got Scrubs, We've got Psych, you know what I mean? We've got other shows.
Well, do you take it even farther back? You got Dukes of Hazzard. You got Starsky and Hutch.
Starsky and Hutch.
Pulp Fiction. Even that's a little fucking darker, but you know what I mean.
It's a movie, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a movie.
Jay and Silent Bob, the animated series.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway. That's our wrap on that. Ribbity rap. Oyo boyos. This is the fucking Spoilercast. Straight up spoiler for the Falcon Winter Soldier. This is the second to last episode, isn't it, Jake?
It is. 5th episode.
My name's Nick. That's Jake, by the way. We've never done that. We've never introduced ourselves in this entire thing, but you get it. You get it.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah. Hit that little fucking bell thing and never miss out on any of the Lonercast bullshit. Yeah, today we're talking about, what is it, episode 6?
5.
Episode 5? Episode 5.
Yes.
5. I'm gonna give it a rating right now. It's gonna be like a 7.5 from me. What about you?
I give it a 1 out of 1 stars.
Oh wow! Wow, what a shitty fucking rating system that is.
Yeah, it's either 1 stars or no stars. That's
okay. So it's a 2-star rating, but
thumbs up or a thumbs down. It gets a thumbs up from me, friend. Yeah, I liked it. I think this is my favorite episode of the entire series so far.
I disagree, but okay. I will tell you why. I will tell you why. Because I do not believe, I'm pointing at you because you're over here, but I do not believe this episode was earned.
Okay, explain.
So, like, how it started, the season started off and they're like, I don't like you, you're annoying, and then the other guy's like, you're annoying, and then that's it. That was their whole intro, was like, I don't want to work with you because I don't like you and we don't know each other that well. And then they get like,
they do.
Well, they're like business partners, I guess. They're but then this episode is like, we're best buds.
Well, I never
getting to that point where we're real cool with each other. We won't say it still, but we're real cool with each other.
I never got the impression that they like really hated each other. I just feel like they both kind of wanted to lone wolf it. They both respect each other and like each other a lot, and they both have that connecting fabric of Steve Rogers. So like,
right.
I think they started the show with a baseline respect, I think, already. It's not like Thor and Iron Man when they get in a fight in the first Avengers movie, It's not quite that bad.
Right, but the way that I see it is like, we didn't get a lot of backstory for their relationship in the first half of this season. Like, there's no like explanation for why they're they're kind of their disdain for each other, not even like disdain, but like their uncomfortableness with each other. We don't get like a backstory of like, oh, this is why he thinks he's annoying, this is why he thinks he's annoying, you know. We got like a touch of it, and then this whole episode was pretty much just bromance. And don't get me wrong, I loved it. I love the fucking montage on the boat where they're fucking fixing the boat up, and you know, he's helping him out, and he rips the siding off of the boat for him after he's like spent who knows how long trying to chip away at the siding.
Why did she use the arm? Oh well, I'm right-handed.
I'm right-handed. Really and that was so good. I love that line. That was a really good line.
Yeah. I don't know. I get what you mean. Like maybe we should have seen more tension between them, because like in the second episode, it's like they go to the counseling session and it's like, why do you guys hate each other? And it's like,
yeah.
I said it when we watched the second episode. I was like, I didn't really get that scene because I didn't ever feel like they actually like hated each other.
Right, yeah, and they never show it, and I think that's what's missing.
But I think that's
like there's
fine.
An episode that's missing where they, you know, something happens and they're like, I don't like you very much. I'll work with you, but like you're just not who I want to hang out with.
They just have like different methodologies, right? Where like Sam is much more by the books, follow the rules, where Bucky is more, hey, let's break Zemo out of prison. And
right.
I think that's their biggest difference. But once Zemo was out of prison, it's like, well, all bets are off. We're kind of in this together now. There's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
Also, like, you know, just like a lot of shows, like the concept of time is always hard to know, because like how long have they been working together at this point? How long were they hanging with Zemo? I don't know. Probably a while. Right. They probably bonded.
I think it's like days. I feel like it's days because like they broke Zemo out, right?
Yeah.
And then the Wakandans showed up.
I'd say weeks, probably. Yeah.
And they're like, hey, you have 8 hours. And then the very next episode, it's like, okay, your time's up. And it's like the next day. I think each episode is like a day or maybe 2 days in separation. So yeah, I guess I go a week, 2 weeks max from like the start to where we're at now.
There was some other stuff that I really liked in this though, beyond just Sam and Bucky. Like, well, it started with a bang with them.
Oh yeah.
Getting in a fight with old Captain America.
Yeah, and Kurt Russell's son.
Just beating his ass.
Well, no, he kind of beats their ass, though.
Well, he does have super soldier serum.
Well, I know, but so does Bucky, though. And Bucky's got a fucking vibranium arm.
But it's like he's got the older version of the serum. I don't know. I don't know. There's like so many different... That brings
in a whole new question, doesn't it?
But there is like a bunch of different types of serum, right? Because like the Hulk is also super soldier serum. So like...
Is he?
Yeah, because they're like, hey, Banner, we need you to make some super soldier serum, but we're not going to tell you what it does. And he's like, oh, let me make it, but let me use gamma rays instead. Mm-hmm. And that's how he gets turned into the Hulk. Yeah, it all comes back to the super soldier serum. And like Isaiah Bradley, and I like that stuff with him. And it's cool that they did that. Like, yeah, it makes sense that Isaiah Bradley is bitter and is not happy, and I'm glad they filled in his backstory. And I like that he's like, you know, no black man in their right mind would become Captain America, and it kind of shows like, hey, no one's a monolith, you know, no one can speak for a whole community, because then it cuts to, you know, Falcon's like kid nephews like playing around with the shield, and it's like, that's how important that's why this is important, right? You know, that's why this needs to happen. And like Bucky just sort of smiling like, this is good. Yeah, because he's, and it's like, I like the technicality of it too, where it's like the shield doesn't technically belong to the government, so we're just gonna
it's just out there somewhere. Whoever has it, it's finders keepers laws.
Well, technically, it's Tony Stark's, right? So it's like the Stark estates.
Is it?
Because he
Why is
made
it?
it.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Remember,
It got destroyed, didn't it?
it did get destroyed, and he shows up in Endgame, and he's like, "Hey, man, if I have to give you another one of these, I'm gonna be pissed."
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
yeah. So
Because he had the little baby shield, I remember, in like Infinity War.
right,
Or, yeah,
because Tony took it away from him. He's like, "That's my shield."
yeah.
Remember? Yeah, because Tony
I
made it.
do remember. Yeah, yeah. I remember that.
But also, this is a different shield because the shield that he gave to Cap got broken by
Thanos.
Thanos.
Right.
But then he also takes it with him when he goes back in time. I don't know. I don't know what shield this is or
Yeah,
where it came from.
We're going to have to
But-
watch the fucking movies again, those two.
I think even watching the movies, it's sort of like it gets destroyed and then he just has it again at
He
the
just
end of
has
the
it.
movie, right?
In Endgame?
Yeah, because it gets destroyed by
does
Thanos,
get
and then at the
destroyed,
end
yeah.
he has the shield and the hammer.
And the hammer. Yeah.
Huh? I don't know. Something to think about. Things that make you go,
Yeah. Yeah, no. I wanna get back to that first fight scene where
Yeah.
John Walker's just fucking losing it. Like his friend's dead. He just killed somebody and he's just fucking losing it. I thought that was such a good like performance and scene of him just by himself. And then the two guys come in and he's like, I did what I had to do. America. Fuck yeah. You know?
Yeah,
and it's like he just goes from like, what have I done? And then when somebody's around, he's like, oh, I did everything right, you know?
Yeah, I feel like that's
It's really arrogant.
his biggest problem is that he wants everyone to like him. And that was something that Steve was never concerned with, right? Like
Right.
people liked him because he did what he thought was right. Even like he even like defected from the government because he's like, what they're doing isn't right, so I'm gonna go off and become nomad, which they never really explore. But he does do that because he shows up with the little shield,
Little baby shield
and
the beard. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I like seeing the parallels between this and Civil War, because this was like just like the scene where it was Bucky and Captain America fighting Iron Man, and this time it was them fighting
Captain America,
or
and
American Patriot.
This episode was also filled with like a bunch of throwaway characters, like the sister. So far, the sister has like hardly been in it, and she's only been in it to like move the plot along. You know, it's just like, okay, well, we need something so that our plot makes sense going forward. So she's like, I'll show up and get a phone call, and then you have the other guy who's like the military, the Marine who works on the wings. He shows up for like 5 minutes and goes, what happened to the wings? And that's his whole scene.
Well,
and you're like, what?
I feel like they're setting him up to be the new Falcon.
Right. It's what I mean. There's a bunch of throwaway characters, whereas like they can come back to him.
Yeah, there was a lot of setup in this episode, because I also feel like, because the big cameo that happened was Julia Louis-Dreyfus showed up.
Right.
And everyone's like, what? Sort of seemingly a Nick Fury type, an evil Nick Fury type, showing up to set up. Everyone's saying that she's like gonna be in charge of the Thunderbolts, which are like evil Avengers in the comics. So her recruiting, John Walker, I imagine, because also we see Zemo get sent to the raft.
Right. Yeah.
So I imagine she's going to just end up going to the raft and breaking a few people out of prison.
And then the Sinister Six is going to happen.
Right. Or the Thunderbolts. Because, they'll probably break him out of the raft, Zemo. I imagine, what was that guy? The guy in Iron Man 2. Justin Hammer. I bet he's still in the raft as well, so they could break him out. And I really like him.
Justin Hammer? Is that his real name?
I think that's his name, right? Justin.
Or is that like his comic book name?
That's his name in the movie.
That's-
He's played by Sam Rockwell.
I don't remember Iron Man 2.
He's the best part of Iron Man 2 because he's just like Tony Stark, but like evil. He's fucking great. If it was just him and not Whiplash in that movie, it would have been a much better movie. But anyway, maybe they'll break him out and he can like make some armor or something. I don't know. I'm excited for the future, and I feel like this movie was really setting up the future of the franchise, as well as just being like a fun romp, which is what I liked about this episode too. Which is just like, this is the fun. Like, we get to see a little training montage of Sam with the shield. Although I will say it's pretty weird. Him and Bucky are like throwing it around, and they seem pretty good at it. And then he starts training, and it's like, no.
yeah, it's like he's catching all of these like things that Bucky's throwing at him, and then by himself he just can't deal. You know, and you're like, oh, okay. And it's so curious with that shield. Like, is it just good? Like, does that shield just work? Is it magnets or something? Like, I don't understand. Do you have to be?
It's vibranium, dog. I don't know. Just don't think about it.
It just bounces
just don't think about it.
For some reason, and right. Okay.
It's vibranium. It's it is what it is. It is
what it is.
It's comic books. I've never really questioned it. It's just like
I find it weird that a non-super soldier can use it. You know?
You think? I don't know.
Yeah, because like I feel like that's got to be a heavy piece of equipment. You got to throw that at a certain speed for it to bounce off of things.
I imagine the metal's pretty light, though. I don't know. I feel like it's like a very strong metal, but a light metal, and like I don't know.
Yeah,
and it works like a frisbee almost because it's a fake metal.
And you have to catch it with like the straps going right into your arms.
But
like,
you always see it land like this, and you're like, how did it?
Whatever. And it's like and you never see it. It's just like jump cut.
Yeah.
Now he's holding it. You know.
I think it's best not to think about it, but it's cool. It looks cool. All right.
It does look,
and
cool.
It's a symbol, and that's what matters.
And the part with Isaiah, I think was really good too. You touched on this a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's he has some good lines, and then some lines I really don't agree with. Where he's at the very end, he says something about any self.
Yeah, but I don't think you're necessarily supposed to agree with him.
Right. Because it's like, if that were true, then it was like, then you're always going to be separated from black man, white man, you know? If you're
and that's what I was saying earlier. It's like, one person, one community, it's not a monolith, he doesn't represent everyone, and like him and Sam obviously have different thoughts on it. And it's important to show that. And it's also important to be like, I get it. I get where he's coming from, and I would understand why he thinks like that. Because he probably, if this was real, he probably would think like that.
Yeah,
because he's seen some shit, and it's
But also, it's kind of funny that Sam's just like, he listens to this and he's like, not one black man should wield that shield, and then he's like, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna wield the shield. He's just like, well, screw you, old man.
I think Sam was like, well, I want to change the perspective. I want to change that. I don't want people to think like that anymore. Because I think that they quickly go from him to showing the kids, and it's like,
right.
We can change the perspective. We can change the outcomes. We can change society, and that's awesome. I also really want to. I really hope down the line we get an Isaiah Bradley show, because that'd be sick. I'd love to see like his adventures as
like
Captain
young man, or like old man Captain America.
No, like him, like leading up to him getting arrested and stuff. Like,
I gotcha.
I'd like to see that whole story shown on screen, because I think that'd be really cool.
I feel like that'd be a very dark story.
Yeah.
You really fucked up.
I think they could. I think they could do it though. I think Marvel can Marvelize it and make it work. It'd be a tough ending, but I think with this show existing, and I imagine this isn't gonna be the last we hear of him.
No, probably not.
Yeah. Also, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, apparently, this is the rumor going around, was supposed to show up in Black Widow, which Black Widow was supposed to come out last year, which would have made her appearing in this show make a little bit more sense. You know what I mean?
So yeah, she is a new Nick Fury. She is evil Nick Fury, right? Because
my guess,
only one reason.
My guess is she shows up in that, and she's like trying to recruit Black Widow's sister.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
And so we get evil Black Widow, is what I imagine. So that's cool. I'm into it.
Yeah. How did it end? Oh, it ended with John Walker making his own shield.
Yeah. Well, and also before that, though, it ends with Sam getting his suit, and I like that we don't get.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's his new fucking suit, dude.
Is it a Captain America suit?
It's gonna be sick. He's gonna have the wings, but it's gonna be like white with a star on it. Oh, it's gonna be sick. It's gonna.
You think
oh
so?
yeah.
And like
with that Wakanda tech. Oh, it's gonna be sick.
Yeah, because like he gives him the box, and then he doesn't open the box, and I'm like, it's got to be a suit, right? That's the only thing it can be. It's in a Captain America suit.
Yeah.
And Bucky like went to the Wakandans and went, yeah, this is the new Captain America. He gets it now. He understands. Yeah. And then they're like, okay, cool. And they made him a suit, you know?
Yeah.
But it's Captain America. Like he's going to open it up or wear it even. That's how it'll open. Is him wearing it.
I think he's going to like dress up like Captain America. He's going to have the shield, but I don't think they're ever going to be like, you're Captain America. It's just like he is. It's like an unspoken like he's Captain America, you know?
That'd be kind of hard to pull off.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
Then what do you call him? Well, what do the people call him? Falcon or Captain America? Because he's got the shield.
Uncle Sam, dude. He's just Uncle Sam.
Okay, call him Uncle Sam.
He's just Uncle Sam, dog. I don't know.
That would be an interesting thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like his nephews are like, Uncle Sam. He's like, that's what my new name is, Uncle Sam. And then he wears a top hat and a white beard. And
there is still part of me, like deep down, that wants Bucky to be Captain America.
Yeah.
Like, just like he's a super soldier.
Mm-hmm.
And his arm is metal where the shield would go.
And he killed people.
Yeah. He's badass. I don't know. Yeah. Somewhere deep down, I'm like, I kind of want him to be Captain America, but it's Sam, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, John Walker making the shield.
I thought it was kind of stupid that it was exactly the same. Like it's steel. Obviously, it's a steel shield. It's not vibranium, so it's not going to hold up to a super soldier punch. No. You know. So I don't know what he's going to do with it, but he made it exactly the same. He's like, I'm still Captain America. I can't get over that fact. Yeah, and it's like. I feel like he's totally lost his mind at this point.
Yeah, definitely. And it's weird because it's like you kind of feel for him because like he wants to do the right thing and he's trying to do the right thing,
but he's a soldier.
He's just a dumb fuck, and it's kind of shitty that like he fucked up. He definitely fucked up. He killed someone. But then they're like, you know, we're taking your benefits away. We're disregarding you completely. And it's just like, damn, that's kind of fucked, you know?
Yeah, it's and he brings up a good point. He's like, you made me. Yeah. I did exactly what you told me to do.
Yeah.
And now I'm getting put in a cage because the outcome isn't what you wanted. Yeah, it's pretty shady. So I do feel for him, but you know.
What do you think is gonna happen in that last episode? Any predictions? A lot of punching, a lot of fighting.
They're gonna fight whatever her name is.
Yeah, Carly.
Carly. I almost said Kelsey. They're gonna fight Kelsey Grammer. They're going to
Bring him back as the Beast, please.
yeah. They're gonna fight Carly, obviously. I wanna say that John Walker's gonna show up and just fuck shit up after the fight.
Oh yeah, because what's his name? That one MMA fighter shows back up. What's his name?
That guy who gets hired
Yeah.
to like kill the Falcon or whatever.
Yeah. Anyway,
where was he? He shows back up. He was in a previous episode.
he's in the first episode with the airplanes and yeah, George St. Pierre. That's who it is. Yeah, George St. Pierre. Remember George St. Pierre? Yeah. He's in the first episode when they're like chasing down the helicopters. Falcon is chasing the helicopters and
and he's like the one with the hostage or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, I guess he didn't die. And he's also in one of the other MCU movies. I forget which one.
So he's probably got like a villain name at this point.
He's in the Winter Soldier. Yeah, that's right.
Does he have a villain name, or is he just henchman?
He's George.
Okay.
He's George Batrock. He's just George. They got George St. Pierre to play George.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah, he shows up and he's like, I want to kill the Falcon. I didn't realize it was the same guy. And then freaking Carly is like, she calls everybody in the park. Like, this is the weird thing.
It got very comic books. Yeah.
And then she whistles. And it's like there was like she had mind control or something, but I think it was just like to show how many people they have in their group, but it was literally everybody in the park.
I feel like it is mind control. Yeah.
Why? How?
I don't know.
Right? It seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's just
like something to do with an app and maybe something to do with the power broker, which we still don't know about. I feel like this show needs more episodes. I feel like, but it is what it is. Yeah, because I do feel like that whole subplot is very underdeveloped. All the stuff with Carly and the flag smashers. Yeah. I'm kind of like, I don't know what's going on here. I have a hard time understanding their motivation. I don't know. I'm kind of confused by them.
Yeah, they're
I also just don't know if I like this actress very much because she's just like so like, we need to find the way. Like, she's so like over dramatic. Yeah. I don't know.
You're right. I don't know if that's the actress's fault though. It could just be the direction. But I don't know.
True. Yeah.
It's like, we want you to seem like a very sweet, caring girl, but then kill everybody. And then she's like, oh, okay.
Haven't you heard? We are the villains. And it's like, dude, villains don't say that. Okay.
Yeah.
I hate that they do that in superhero movies where it's like, we are the villains, and it's like villains don't say that.
Well, she says we are terrorists or criminals or something.
We are the criminals, yeah.
Anyway, I liked it. I really liked the bromance.
One more question.
Okay.
Big question. Are we gonna see Steve?
No, I already answered this. No, we're not. We're not going to see Steve.
We're not going to see old Steve.
They've said it 3 times in this show alone. Steve is gone.
But they never say he's dead.
But he's gone. He says gone.
And it's like, yeah, maybe we didn't see him earlier because then it's like we'd have to see him again in the show. And probably to age up Chris Evans is probably pretty goddamn expensive. So, like, let's just put him in the last episode and be like, well, not really. Here he is.
Like, they could just hire Joe Biden.
True.
Just be like, hey Joe, Marvel, you want to be like Donald Trump and be in a TV show?
And he'd be like, come on, man.
Who's that? Has that fucking Lando Calrissian? Come on, man.
Come on, man. And they'd be friends. Lando and Joe Biden. They'd be friends. Couple of liberals. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to show up. Not in this one. Maybe in Loki. We've discussed that already.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess he could show up in Loki. I just feel like this is a continuation of the Captain America story, so it would make sense to have Steve Rogers in it.
Right.
You know?
I don't think so, though. Maybe they'll put him like digitally in the background.
I think it's possible that we see young Chris Evans in the Loki show.
Yeah.
But I feel like we see old Chris Evans in this show.
Like at the end? Where would it fit good? Where would it fit to have him come in and go, I always believed in you?
An end credits scene of like him and Nick Fury hanging out on that ship with the scrolls.
On that beach in the ship in space,
yeah, with the scrolls, and he's actually on the moon, like they say.
Okay, that would be kind of funny.
Yeah, that would be. Chris Evans can be our new Stan Lee cameo and everything now. That'd be great.
That would be good, but then he'd have to be old every time.
He doesn't have to be old. Just have Chris Evans just show up at every single property from now on. I love it. It's great.
That would be funny. You have Tony Stark show up in every single property. You have Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because he's dead, and we know he's dead.
I feel
it's like if you have characters that like look like him just show up and say random bullshit. Like,
I feel like Robert Downey Jr. would have like less of a sense of humor about that kind of thing, though, than Chris Evans.
True.
You know? Because Robert Downey Jr. is like, I'll show up if you give me $10 gazillion. Where Chris Evans is like, you guys made me. I will do this for free. You know?
Yeah. Pay me for 8 hours. We're good. You know?
Don't even. I'll just do it for free. You guys already gave me millions.
Well, that's it. That was the whole episode. Finale is next week, or rather, it's this week. It's Friday.
Yeah.
Because it comes out on Wednesday. So yeah, looking forward to that. I think we're doing something different. Are we doing something different?
Yeah, I figure instead of doing like an episode 6 and then a whole season 1 spoiler cast, like 2 separate videos, I figure we just do a whole season spoiler cast instead of a season 6 and a season 1 spoiler cast. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, we could do both. It's more content, I guess. But
I feel like that we don't need a season 1 spoiler cast.
Well, I think we do. I disagree.
Okay. Well, we will find out.
I think we do because we're bringing in Austin.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. We do have a fresh mind. Yeah. We will have a fresh mind. Yeah, for sure.
So cool. Keep an eye out for that. We probably won't do it live like we're doing it live right now. And I'll probably post it earlier than usual. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
No, he's not Black Falcon. He's Captain America.
Is that what he says? Black Falcon?
Yeah, remember?
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear what the guy said, but then he's like, "That's Captain America."
Yeah, they're like, "Hey, it's Black Falcon," because it's supposed to get a laugh, and then they're like, "No, that's Captain America." Yeah. Well, let's just get into it, huh? You know, after much deliberation of how we were gonna do this, you know, are we gonna do a full season review? Are we gonna do 2 separate episodes for the season and the episode? Are we gonna bring in Austin? We're just gonna do the same shit we did throughout this entire show and just talk about episode 6.
All right,
that's what we're doing.
Let's do it. Let's fucking do it. This is the spoiler cast for. What do we want? Falcon Winter Soldier. That's what it is.
It's Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Remember that little tagline at the end? Oh, let me put up a.
Oh, was there?
Spoiler one. Yeah, at the end credits, it like fades away the Falcon, and then it turns into Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
But he's still called the Winter Soldier.
He's still called the Winter Soldier, and I think that makes sense because The journey throughout the show is Falcon becoming Captain America and Bucky accepting that he is the Winter Soldier and like he has to deal with that trauma.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. I thought the whole time that it was going to be like he's the White Wolf now, but I kind of like that they went that route with it.
I do too. Yeah.
That's a good call.
So a quick review on this episode. 6.
Yeah, 6. What'd you think?
It was okay. It was fine. I didn't like the whole like soapbox part where he like lands and he's like telling the senators, he's like, you guys fucked up. This is, and then he just went on for like 5 minutes about why society sucks, and I was like, come on, to deal with this in the news and all this shit.
But I mean, that's what the show is. I'm torn on it because I appreciate what he's saying. My problem is like where he is saying it. There's literally like a dead person behind him, and he even points it out. He's like, "She died for this," and it's like, how about you like move the body before you start?
Yeah, how about you do this in like an actual interview, or you know?
But I do get that though, because I think the whole thing was like, you know, he's not gonna get that opportunity like John Walker would. This is his opportunity.
Right.
Everyone's looking at him right now, and right now is his time to like show that he's Captain America. What's weird about it was it did feel a little out of the blue, and it also was just like there's like a dead person behind you, and like maybe a lot more dead that you should probably focus on first. Maybe deal with the cleanup a little bit first.
He like flew her, which was very, I gotta say, the wings, the animated wings, the CG wings looked fucking horrible when he lands. He's got her in his arms and the wings go, and it's just like, oh God, what the fuck? But, you know.
The suit is sick, though. I like the suit a lot.
It's super cool. I like that he doesn't have a headpiece.
Yeah.
It's just no helmet, bare skull.
And, but the cowl, yeah. They got to fix that a little, but it's a little weird. It's a little weird, but
it's a little weird. They'll
iron it out in the next one.
Yeah. But no, he hands her off to like the paramedics or whatever, or I guess the Undertaker, and
she's super dead.
Like, what is he gonna do with it? Like, nobody else died. There was a guy in the Hudson River.
I'm sure there's
right, but like, you think there's somebody else? There was only like.
I don't know. Maybe move the body first. At least let the paramedics, like, you know, put it in the van or something. I don't know why they were just like leaving that dead body right there.
Right there, yeah.
And like it's on the news, and it's like the news are just like, look at this dead body. Wow.
Wow. Holy crap.
This is some Jake Paul shit. That's what I'm saying. Or this is some Logan Paul shit, dude. Like maybe we do something with the body first, huh?
Yeah, maybe we you know, put a bag over it or something.
I appreciated everything he said, though. Like, I liked, and I also really like that he had a little bit of a cop out where he's like, I don't have the answers, but like, this ain't it.
This something needs to change. That's your job. My job is to tell you how to do your job better.
Well, I don't even think he was saying that. I think he's just like, you guys aren't doing your job.
Right.
You know?
Right, and it was a good point. I really enjoyed the points that he put in there.
I had some issues with this episode. I'm not sure there are things, the highs are really high, but the lows, there's a lot of lows. For me, the whole Flag Smasher thing was just like, I don't even understand what their end goal was. I don't even know what the fuck they were doing. They're just like taking hostages.
Did you look it up?
No.
Okay, so I looked it up because I was like, I feel like
it's like, what are they doing?
I feel like they explained it in the first episode and like a side mention, and they're like, this is what they don't want, and this is getting voted on. So what they want is when the snap happened, and for 5 years everybody was kind of like working together. There were no borders between like Mexico, the United States, Canada. There's no borders anywhere. Everybody's just kind of, which is, you know, one world, one people sort of situation. But then when everybody came back now all the governments are like, we need to put up borders, we need to do this, we need to do this.
Yeah,
and
I kind of
Flag
understood
Smashers
that.
Flag Smashers are like, no, we need to stay open, one world, one people.
Mhm.
And so the Senate was voting on something. They were voting on something that did something that the Flag Smashers did not agree with, and they protested as if it was violent protests, and that was pretty much it. So that
But what was the hostage shit at the end?
the hostage shit was they wanted to stop the vote because they were going to vote against the Flag Smashers or something like that.
I just the whole like I understood what their whole cause was like things were peaceful before and now that everyone's back, it sucks. I understood that whole aspect of it. I just didn't understand what their end game was and like what they were trying to do with these hostages. But I guess there was some vote. But like
they were stopping a vote, but I don't know why.
But the vote's going to happen anyway.
Their plan fucking sucked.
Yeah, it was a really bad plan.
It was also a very bad plan.
And like there's just like this scene where like Bucky is like in this building, and then this lady's just like, "Hey, Bucky, it's Carly. She wants to talk to you."
But she's a Flag Smasher, though. Lady and
I don't know who she was. She was just there.
She was a Flag Smasher.
No,
just like
she wasn't. She wasn't.
She was.
She wasn't super soldiered out.
Not all of them were super soldiers.
She was just there, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? Where did this phone come from? How did they get this number? No, I'm pretty sure that
app, dude. She was walking around. She had the app, and then Carly called her, and she went, "Okay, yes, boss," and then handed her phone to Bucky.
Okay.
Yeah, because how they got it, they were in the building already. Because like when they're in that like meeting room, they throw the bombs, so they were already there and already allowed to be in this building. It's just
and then like
and the way I saw it was she was a Flag Smasher who just happened to work there, right? Or like a Flag Smasher, sympathizer. So Carly like sees that she's next to him and gives her a call and it's like, "Hey, give the phone to that guy."
But you don't think like she's just walking there and Bucky's like, you don't think Bucky'd be like, "All right, that's a Flag Smasher, I gotta stop her." I don't get it. I don't understand. It's confusing.
There's a lot of that, though.
There's so much of that in this show.
There's so much of that. It's just
I think a lot of it is chalked up to COVID. And I think they had a lot more that they had planned, but COVID kind of fucked a lot of their plans.
Yeah.
Because as far as I'm aware, that there was a whole like pandemic side plot that they were planning that got completely cut out of the show because they thought that was a little insensitive.
Yeah.
Which probably I don't know. I wouldn't have minded it. Just put it in, whatever.
Yeah,
because I'm assuming
through it anyway. So
I'm assuming the plan for the show was like the Flag Smashers invented this disease that was supposed to kill half the population or something. That's my guess, because then it would like bring back peace or whatever. I don't know, but like that whole thing to me was very confusing. And also like John Walker just like being pals with them again.
Oh yeah.
It just seemed so like he's bad and evil and he shows up and he's like, "I'm gonna kill this bitch," and then it's like, "Oh, I'm happy and I'm joking with you guys now. We're like pals now." And then like at the end and like obviously he's gonna do some nefarious shit in the future as the US agent, but just seeing him as like, "I'm so happy now," he should like be in a fucking gutter like just crying like, "Oh, my life is in shambles now," and then
why,
like after all of this happened, because he doesn't I just feel like it's weird that at the end of this he's just like this happy man again. I feel like he should be downtrodden, and then what's her butt comes up. Hold on. And then what's her butt comes up and is like, "Hey, I've got an opportunity for you," and he just sort of like looks up and it's like, "That's my last resort." But instead it's like he's been promoted again. He's good to go. Everything's fine for him now. Obviously, he's going to do some horrible shit in the future, and they'll make it work in the future.
See, like he only wants to do good, right? He's doing what he thinks is good. He's not a good dude, but like
he is, but isn't.
Even in the episode or 2 episodes before this one, where he kills that dude, and they're like, "Hey, man, you made a mistake. You gotta deal with it." And he's like, "No, fuck you, blah blah blah." It's like, I think at this point he's like, "Yeah, I gotta deal with this. This
but at the beginning of the episode, he wasn't like that at all, and it felt like they were building him up to like be something, and then he's just like joking with them and like having a good time.
At the beginning of the episode, he shows up with "Hey, Carly," and then he throws the shield at her. But that's it.
Yeah, but like you think like he's still like, I'm Captain America. Fuck these other people. Fuck the government. And then he's just like, no, they're right. The government's right. I'm with them now. It just felt a little like weird and rushed.
Yeah, it felt a little rushed, but.
And the whole pacing of this episode was just so fucking bizarre. Yeah. Like it just like it came out guns blazing, and like Sharon Carter just like shows up and she's like, "Hey, bitch, I'm here." And it's like, what? Why'd you even take that off? I don't. Why'd you even have that off?
Why did you even have it on? Yeah,
it's so
she's
confusing.
Walking around with a regular face. That was weird.
And then the reveal of her being the power dealer, like we all knew that was going to happen, but like it just felt weird. And like, and then also when you think about it for like longer than 10 seconds, you're like, she kind of worked against herself here because she is the reason the serums got destroyed and that Zemo was able to kill that guy. She gave him that intel, and she's working with the government now, but you'd think super soldier serum would be like high priority for her.
Right.
It just seems a little weird.
It does seem weird, doesn't it? Because she's like, that wasn't her end goal. Like, obviously, it wasn't her end goal, or maybe it was because Falcon's like, "Hey, I'll get you
the pardons. Yeah.
You get you pardoned," and she's like, "Oh yeah, you will. That'll get me better shit."
But I feel like
I'll help you out. Fuck the serum. I feel like
she could have done that and kept the serum alive. But
probably,
I don't know. You got to explain how the serum goes away somehow. So I don't know.
Yeah, I like this episode. I thought it was one of the weaker ones. I also really enjoyed like the last scene where they're all back in like Louisiana and everybody's just like chilling out and having a good time. And Bucky's like holding all the kids on his arm.
Yeah, just having a good time.
It was like, that's cool. But like,
sorry, go ahead.
I feel like Zemo has something more.
Yeah.
That should have happened.
We'll see it in the future. They're setting up the Thunderbolts 100%.
Yeah.
Especially with US Agent now. It's like official.
Yeah. So it's there's a lot of stuff that wasn't answered, but they kind of finished most of the things pretty well, I think.
So this is gonna sound weird as fuck. But it makes sense to me, okay? Now, hear me out for just a sec.
All right.
I feel like this show needed more episodes, but I also feel like this show could have just been a movie, and they could have cut out a lot of shit and made it work as just like a 2-hour thing. But also, in the format that it's in now, it needed more explanation, if that makes sense.
No, I get you. No, you're absolutely right.
Because they could have cut out a lot of like, I probably the whole Zemo thing they could have cut out and like not had it.
That was such a good.
He was a highlight for sure.
Such a good part of this show.
But this could have been a movie. But also, as it stands right now, I felt like they didn't explore the motives of these people, and everything was just sort of like, we gotta just brush it out and like explain what's going on quickly and then resolve it quickly. And it was just it was a lot. I don't know. I like his new suit. His suit is cool. I liked seeing him like he had like the shield and he pushes it into a dude and then he uses his booster to like go forward, and because he doesn't have super strength. I like that shit.
Yeah. My favorite, with that, when the truck is like falling.
Yeah,
and
that
he
was sick.
fucking catches it. It's like, how the fuck is he not crumbling behind a rocket and like a 6-ton truck squishing him? How is he holding both of these things apart?
The suit. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
The suit.
It's the suit.
It's the suit.
So that threw me off. But he did have
I liked it though. And I liked how it was like, you know, a normal superhero would be like, dun, 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 and he just like lifts the truck. But for him, it's like kind of a struggle. And I kind of like that.
I would hope it's a struggle. But
yeah.
There was one thing that he did that I was like, damn, that's fucking cool. When he like pulls those guys out of the helicopter and lands, and he fucking puts his wings around the shield on top. It was like, that's fucking cool. So he's got like this giant indestructible,
and everyone on the bridge like claps. They're all like,
yeah,
hey.
yeah,
yeah. I like that. I also like that helicopter scene where he's like, hey, I heard you know how to fly.
I heard you know how to fly. Yeah,
that was cool. That was really cool.
Kicks that dude out of the.
And she's like, fuck yeah, I do. Let's do this shit. Like, I like that. That was so fucking cool how he's like, it's just like, I've never seen something like that where it's like, I'm going to work with this chick in here. She's military. Like, let's do this. Yeah. I like that a lot. Also, I like the stuff with Isaiah Bradley. I like that. I really, really like that it was like in the Smithsonian, they got a little section for him. Like that's just right. Like, that's a really good cherry on the cake, you know?
I found it really, really kind of dumb that it was like behind everything else. Yeah. Like they walk behind a couple of screens and it's like in this dark corner. Nobody's there.
I've never been to the Smithsonian. I just imagine that's how the exhibits are, where it's just like you can go in and see more details.
Probably, but like it's in a spot in the Smithsonian that nobody really goes to because it looks like it's
still cool though,
or whatever.
Because now it's like official and it's like going to be in the history books and stuff. Like that's cool.
Yeah, that's a cool thing, and the fact that he's like okay with it. I was thinking he'd just punch Falcon. Like, why'd you do this? But he's okay with it. It's kind of like, all right, you get it then.
And also seeing Bucky like admit that he killed the old guy's son.
I wish I saw how that interaction actually went, you know? Yeah. Because like the next day, I would assume he's like walking past the bar and the guy's smiling and whatnot, and Bucky just leaves, and it's like, man, I really wonder if they're still cool or if like I don't think so. He's just like, get the fuck out of my face.
I'm sure it was like that, but it's just. And just like he starts crying and shit, I was like, I think I'm gonna cry, man. This is, you know, like I liked it, and you know, leave it ambiguous, I guess. I didn't want to see them hug. You know, that would have been too cheesy. No, I didn't want to see that. I also didn't want to see him like get him kicked out. So them kind of cutting away, I think, was the right choice.
Well, he leaves on his own. Like he closes the door on his own, so you know he left on like. Well, okay terms.
This old guy's not gonna like fight Bucky.
Yeah. I killed your son. Get the fuck out of my house.
And the government pardoned me.
Yeah.
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 So, what'd you think of the show? Like on a whole, on the whole,
as a whole, I loved it. I really did. I think it was, and you're gonna hate me, better than WandaVision. WandaVision was super, super good at the beginning, and it focused really well on like character development and story. But at the end of that show, it had too many eggs up in the air. I felt like it was trying to do something in the last episode, like trying to explain something, and it was like, dude, you need another episode. Like, what the fuck happened to Vision?
No, because it's a TV show. This is how TV shows end all the time. It's setting up for the future stuff. That's how TV shows end.
Is there going to be a season? I was under the impression there was not going to be a season 2 of WandaVision.
But there's going to be explanations for it in the next movies. So like, I'm fine with that. I felt like it was setting up the future of the franchise. And that's fine. I think it finished up the story it was telling and set up new stories for the future. Like, yeah, we don't know what's going on with Vision, but we'll see what's going on with Vision, like, in the future. And then also Wanda, like, we're gonna see that in Doctor Strange 2. This was obviously setting up Doctor Strange 2.
Right.
And like, I'm fine with that.
I just felt like everything was just so... There was too much going on. It was like, this is the bad guy. Oh, wait, no, this is the bad guy. Hold on, there's another bad guy. All in the same episode. And it's like, oh, okay. And then shit just kind of stops. It's like there's this fight and it just goes, everything's good. You know? And I just felt like that was...
Well, I mean... Everything's good because, like, what are you gonna do? Like, try and stop Wanda? She's just gonna fuck you up, dude. It's like, just give her space, give her some time. You don't need to fuck with her.
Yeah, but I felt like this one kind of it didn't set up as many little things here and there. Like,
it definitely did, though.
Wait until the next episode to see who we're introducing in the final episode or whatever, and it's like,
but it totally did, though, with like Sharon Carter and the power broker stuff, and her like walking away and being like, hey, I've got the power to the White House now. And then like also like Zemo, it shows him like in prison, like hearing that shit, and he's like,
right. But it shows,
and then it also shows like it never explains who Julia Louis-Dreyfus is. It doesn't even say what her name is. And then it shows him come out in the black suit. Val. And it's like, oh, he's got a black suit now. And it's like, what does that mean? He's the U.S. agent. It did the same shit that WandaVision did.
No, because you don't see any of that conclusion. You don't see any of the setup for it. It's just like, Vision's here, Vision's gone.
Yeah.
This town's here. Who the fuck knows what this town is going to be? Like, this guy's here. Where the fuck is he going? Like, it doesn't set up any of that. It goes, we're fighting, switch scenes. You don't see any of these people ever again, not even in like extra clips or whatever. It's not like they're setting things up. It's like they're just letting them go. And they're like, we hope you remember the fact that Vision just disappeared.
I don't think that's true at all. I think it's like, I'm very intrigued with White Vision, and I want to see what's going on with White Vision. And I feel like they set it up perfectly for like, hey, this is White Vision. What's going on with him? Can't wait to find that out. And then also the townspeople, where it was like, yeah, that was probably the weakest part, where it's like, maybe we could have, had them a little bit more angry. But it's like, yeah, they're never going to forgive her. And they say that. It's like, they're never going to forgive her. And we'll probably see the ramifications of that in the future. And then also with Monica Rambeau, like her being like, hey, there's a friend up there for you. And it's like, that's setting up Captain Marvel too. And then, Wanda leaving and like with her book and doing the weird, like, I don't know. I liked all of that setup. And I felt like all of WandaVision was like this cohesive narrative, and it was like one led to the other, and it's unlocking little bits of what's going on throughout the entire series. And then at the end, and like the second to last episode, the penultimate episode, you get to see like why is Wanda the way she is, and it kind of leaves a little bit of some more questions about Wanda as well. But it gives you like a nice backstory of her. It sets up a backstory for Agatha, who we're definitely going to see in the future as well. And like, I don't know, I just felt like it was a much more cohesive narrative on top of being just like a well-structured narrative for the characters to be explored, where this show was like the narrative was all over the place, the plot was all over the place, the characters were a little wonky as well. Like, I don't know, I felt like this show was just super wonky, but I mean, that's just me though.
Yeah, I liked it though. I had more fun with this than I did with WandaVision. I had more fun with this than the second half of WandaVision.
I just remember with WandaVision, every week I'm like, I cannot wait to watch this next episode. And
that's how I was with this.
This show, I didn't feel the same. This show, I'm like, I just kind of want it to be over. And like, I liked all the stuff with Captain America, Falcon. I liked all of that stuff. everything else I was like, and like Carly being this sympathetic villain, I didn't buy that at all. Like she's not sympathetic at all. She killed people. She murdered people. She took hostages, tried to kill hostages. She was not sympathetic at all, and making her sympathetic made no fucking sense. And like,
no, I get that.
And like, I don't know. And WandaVision did end with like the punchy punchies at the end. But like, I thought the punchy punchies were interesting, like where it's like Vision like had that like, what about the ship? What about that? And they have this like inquisitional like sort of thought process. And they're like,
see, that's really, I really did enjoy that, because it reminds me of like the Sorcerer's Circle, where everybody kind of gets together and it's like a battle of the minds rather than like.
And that's how Vision would be, because like if Vision has the opportunity to not fight, he will not fight. Right. He will debate you like Ben Shapiro. He will beat you with facts and logic. And then like also the Wanda stuff, like where they're like doing laser beams at each other in the sky, and you're like, why is she missing? And then it's like, because she's shooting the fucking the symbols,
the runes,
and it's like, that was cool. I didn't think this show had any of that shit, although the suit was really cool, and like seeing him use the wings to like hold himself back and shit. Like I liked all that, and I liked the helicopter thing, and like I liked some of that stuff, and I liked Isaiah Bradley. I really hope we get a show with Isaiah Bradley in the future where it's like we get to see the events that took place with Isaiah Bradley. I think it was a missed opportunity to like not show that in flashbacks like they did with WandaVision, where they had all those flashbacks.
Yeah.
I think it would have been cool. But I do think it's probably because they're going to do a show for him in the future.
It could be. I didn't sense that at all, but
they should. I think it'd be cool.
But yeah, I thought the fighting in this show was much better. I felt like it was more real.
Yeah, but like, sorry to cut you off.
Like with like where they meet him in the in the warehouse, and they're having a fucking fight with him, and they break his arm. They break John Walker's arm. I was like, damn, that's some fucked up shit. Like that sucks, and it looks good. Whereas like WandaVision's just like, who's more powerful? Pew, 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 pew. Yeah. And I just didn't, it was like, well, obviously, Wanda. Like,
yeah, but I felt like the WandaVision wasn't really about, it was never really about the gears. No, it was never really about like the fighting and stuff. It was way more of
right, and that's exactly where it lost me, because it wasn't about the fighting. It was about like figuring out, putting these pieces of a puzzle together.
Yeah.
And the last episode was kind of like, well, we already showed you the puzzle, the finished puzzle, so we're just going to do flashy flash. And it's like, I just like the puzzle part of it. I didn't need to see all the flashy flash.
The flashy flash was the end of the puzzle. That was what the puzzle looked like put together, you know? And like, I don't know, like, to me, I have a hard time with it being more realistic when it's comic books, because then like when the crazy shit that does happen in Falcon and Winter Soldier, you're like, I thought this was grounded, and this shit ain't grounded anymore, you know, because it has those comic book moments, and you're like, what? Whoa, that's weird. Like there's just some, like in the boardroom when like, I don't know, it's hard to explain what I'm trying to say. But like,
I think I know what you mean,
because like WandaVision's so like over the top anyway, and it's so comic books that like the crazy shit is just like, yeah, that's just part of it. Where like this, when this sort of like crazy unexplainable shit happens, you're like, but this is supposed to be more grounded, and it's not making sense. I don't know.
And I think it goes with who the characters are, because Wanda's a fucking witch, and Vision is Superman. Pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are they going to use? Are they going to brute force, or are they just going to laser beam everything? It's like, obviously they're going to laser beam everything. Whereas this show's like, we have strong man, metal arm, we have weak man, big shield, and we have strong man with shield. And it's like, they're going to fucking fight. That's it. They're just going to punch each other. So it's different, but I just enjoyed it more. I don't know. I like them both.
That's fine.
But I
liked them both too. I don't want to give like the wrong impression. Like I fucking hate this show. I liked it a lot, and I'm glad I watched it. And they just announced that they're working on Captain America 4 right now, which I think will be like the continuation of this show. And I'm into that, and I'm super into that. And I will watch the fuck. I
love the fact that they're giving it to another character. Like it's Captain America, but they're not like rebooting Captain America. Yeah. It's like a different Captain America, and I fucking love that. Like we have not seen comic books, or we haven't seen superhero movies do that yet. It's always like, this is Wolverine, and this is always going to be Wolverine. This is Batman, and this is always going to be Batman. It's like, no,
give me Terry McGinnis.
Give me not Bruce Wayne Batman. Give me a new character that's the same, but different.
A continuation, yeah.
Like we always have Peter Parker. Like give me Miles Morales, and they did. They actually did that.
And it was kick ass.
But it was animated, so I don't know if that counts. But it's so good. It's so good.
It's the best Spider-Man movie.
It is. It's by far the best.
We all know it. Yeah.
Yeah. So also, I really enjoy
the person who plays Agatha Harkness in WandaVision plays Doc Ock and
Doc Ock. Yeah. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, just a fun fact. One quick question for you that we never really mentioned.
What's that?
What's going on with Cap, the original Cap?
He did.
You think so? Why don't they say that then?
Because he's not actually dead. I think he just went back to. I think he went back to his timeline, and everybody's just like dealing with it. He's gone. There's no way for him to come back. They would have to go to him in order to get him back.
They'll definitely have to explore that in the future, though, right? Like,
I think they're keeping it open in case they have to explore that in the future. But I don't know if there's anything planned for it just yet.
Yeah, I don't know, because it just seems weird, because it's like he was there. It's like, where is he? It didn't seem like he was dying on that bench.
No, yeah.
It just seemed like he was old.
He's like, yeah, I'm so old. I'm as old as Joe Biden.
Yeah. It seemed like he was old.
Fucking dies. Yeah. It's true. It would have been cool to see like Joe Biden sitting on a wheelchair.
It's like, I'm proud of you, boy.
Just like, I'm proud of you. I'm proud you took the mantle up or whatever. It would have been a cool little scene, but I don't think it would have been necessary. It wasn't necessary.
They did repeat the joke where they're like, no, that's Captain America. They're like, I thought he was on the moon. They did repeat that in this episode, so maybe he is on the moon. Yeah, they did. Where they're like,
I didn't see that.
That's Black Falcon, and they're like, no, that's Captain America, and they're like, oh, I thought he was on the moon.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's funny.
Yeah, so I feel like he's on the moon, dog.
He's on the maybe he's on the moon.
I feel like he's on the moon.
Said it twice. It's like, yeah. Fuck, maybe he's on the moon, and they keep just hinting at it. Like, yeah, he's up there with Nick Fury, just watching over everybody.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. They could have a whole show. Sorry,
is Nick Fury fucking Batman from Justice League?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, you remember the animated series Justice League, where they're like on a ship and they go to different planets and shit.
Yeah.
Nick Fury is like Batman for Marvel.
Sort of, yeah.
He got them all together, and now he's in space, and he's just kind of waiting for people to come to space so that he can tell people where to go, even though he's just a regular human guy.
You would have thought he would have done that earlier, but
yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious what's going on with Hydra. I'm curious what's going on with Shield or Sword and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe
what was I gonna say?
I would also like to see like a show where it's Steve Rogers and he's delivering all the time stones back. They could do a whole show of him.
Cool, but how the fuck do you explain the Soul Stone?
It'd be crazy. And it'd be cool as fuck to see. I don't know.
How the fuck do you explain the Soul Stone? It just doesn't make any sense. Ow.
They can figure it out. I'd like to see.
I guess. Oh yeah, Red Skull's here. Black Widow's dead. You got to give this back to Red Skull somehow.
Right after, it would just have to be like right after she takes the stone and jumps off the edge. He'd be like, "Here's the stone back." That would literally be it.
And then he just watches her die.
He'd have to, yeah.
Great. Why didn't he get there earlier?
Well, because she has to take the stone for the events of Endgame to happen. So then she takes the stone, and then he's just like, "Here it is back."
But it's Red Skull, dude.
I know, he'd be weirded out by it for sure. He'd be like, "Whoa, I thought you were like a Nazi." He's like, "I am, but also I like souls.
But also I'm the Grim Reaper on this planet of nobody." Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a fucking bizarre.
I was also expecting to see the dude from the Hulk movie. What was it? The Abomination?
I don't know. The Edward Norton?
Not Edward Norton. Edward Norton was
from the Hulk movie.
He is the Hulk in the Hulk movie.
Right.
What's the I don't know. The dude, because he got arrested in that movie, and I'm pretty sure he's on the raft. I was expecting to like see him, because then it could be like, hey, let's set up, portrayed by Tim Roth, that dude, the bad dude in that movie, right? Tim Roth, Hulk. I'm looking this up. Tim Roth, Hulk. What's his name? The fuck's his name?
Lou Ferrigno?
Not Lou Ferrigno. Lou Ferrigno is the Hulk, dog. Here we go. Tim Roth. It just says Abomination. Very helpful. Very fucking helpful.
Tim Roth is an English-born film actor and director, best known for his roles in Reservoir Dogs, Four Rooms, Planet of the Apes, Rob Roy, and The Incredible Hulk. That's all I got on Tim Roth.
Yeah, because it's already been confirmed that he's coming back for She-Hulk. As the Abomination. Like, it's already confirmed. And I just would have thought, like, this would be a good way to be like, hey, he's still alive, you know, like a little toss away thing. Like, he's in the cell next to Zemo or something. But, you know, whatever. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I forget what his name is, but...
Abomination.
Well, yeah, he is Abomination, but... Because I am and like this show was so heavily to do with like, you know, super soldier serum. I don't know, whatever.
So, yeah, it just says Abomination. Oh, Tim Roth, the actor who portrayed Emil Blonsky.
That's it.
Emil Blonsky.
But he has like a pseudonym or something. I don't know.
Abomination.
Helpful. Anyway.
He was captured in the fight. Is the Ed Norton Hulk still canon?
It is canon, yeah. Because if you remember at the end of that movie, it has the end credit scene with Tony Stark.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen any of the Hulk movies.
Yeah, it came out like a month or two before Iron Man. And the end credits scene is Robert Downey Jr. being like, "Oh, hey, what's up? That's some interesting tech you got there," or whatever he says. So like it's connected, right. And they just couldn't get Edward Norton back because Edward Norton, I guess, was like a pain in the ass to work with. So and was demanding too much money. So
Mark Ruffalo,
yeah,
and he's good. He's good at it.
Yeah, I like him a lot. And I know they didn't make another Hulk movie for a long time because there was some sort of like rights issue. Like Paramount had the rights to Hulk technically, and like, I don't know what the deal is there. But
apparently, Mark Ruffalo is also going to be in She-Hulk, which makes sense because how do you introduce a character?
I would expect nothing less. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll probably just be like a cameo, though. I don't imagine he'll be like a big part of it, but maybe he will be. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I have no idea
It's
how you do
interesting.
that show because She-Hulk is such a weird fucking character. But
Yeah, I know nothing about She-Hulk. I
That's
know a little bit about Hulk, but yeah. Anyway, that was the fucking spoiler cast for.
that's it. That's all
That's
we
it.
got. Oh wait,
That's it.
one more
Oh,
thing
shit.
though.
Okay.
Should we
Alright.
talk about like? Should we talk about Loki for a second? Just be like,
Sure.
hey, what do you think's gonna happen?
Fucking
in that
hyped.
show?
We've already talked about this. I'm fucking hyped. That's it.
All right, yeah, I'm hyped
That's
too.
it. I'm fucking hyped. It's June 11th, I think.
Yeah, so we got like a good month of like
A month.
no.
I like how you looked
Spoilercast.
at your wrist, but you have no watch. We got like a good
Good
month.
good month there. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I hope we see Steve Rogers. I just love the man. I love the guy. I love him.
Who doesn't?
I love the boy. He's a
doesn't?
good boy.
Yeah, he is. He's arguably the best boy.
He could lift a hammer.
He could.
You couldn't lift a hammer. He could.
I could not. I'm not the best boy.
Yeah. So there we go. That's
That's the spoiler cast. All right, goodbye.
Well, actually, real quickly.
Oh my god.
Since we're not going to be doing a lot of these kind of spoiler casts, we will have like a couple things though. Like this week is the end of Invincible, and me and Austin are going to do a spoiler cast for Invincible season 1. So we'll be doing that, and maybe another one. I need to finish another show, and if I'm able to finish that show, we will release another spoiler cast. But that's if I finish the show.
What is the show?
I can't spoil the surprise, son.
You can't spoil the spoil.
I can't spoil the spoils.
All right.
It's
Sure.
it's Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yes.
The movie?
No, the show. The show.
The show.
We're
How
gonna
far?
do. See,
Well, this is something for something else. Yeah, I gotcha.
yeah, I'm only like 3 episodes in, dog.
Okay, well that's
But we're
Good
gonna do it.
fucking
We're gonna do it by seasons. So if I can finish out the season, maybe I binge it one day or something. I don't know.
all right.
But yeah, that's that.
Cool.
Bye.